factor in the outcome of those races 1 year ago, and I anticipate the same tonight. The fuel window is right about 40 laps, so that means you can run 40 laps. You'd have to pit with 20 to go, but I don't think that's what we're going to see. I talked to a lot of crew chiefs today, Mike, and I think the minute that window opens, somewhere there about lap 20,
so I think you guys
it will be
should really hear me.
manufacturer dictated. Toyotas, Fords, and Chevrolets, they will be coming to pit road to fill those cars up with fuel, and that probably, Jeff and Mike, will be their only trip to pit road. But when I watched those duels from last year, pit stops were chaos. They were speeding on pit road, sliding through the box. You don't want to do that because it may be your only trip to pit road.
Okay, good. Everything's going good.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a
So,
rehearsal. There's a lot of things you've got to work
rain delay for the Daytona race, sadly, but we will hopefully get that all, they will get that all situated, hopefully. Shame right here. I can pop that bitch out.
To try to get that handling back in the race car for this duel tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff, that's a great question because it is an impound race. And what I mean by that is when they qualified these cars on Sunday, NASCAR put them in the garage area, pulled the doors down, and the garage has been closed up until about 12 noon today. There are minor adjustments they can make. They can adjust the shocks. They can adjust the height of the car, the track bar in the rear of the car. But it's not the major changes you would like to make between qualifying and the race. And to me, that's always a question, is those cars that qualified up front, like Ricky Stenhouse Jr. on the pole, what is his car going to drive like now that he's in race trim? I think that's a big question on everybody's mind before they start these races tonight.
I cannot wait for this race. I think it's going to be a really, really good race, hopefully. Or both these races are supposed to be really good. But you never know. Damn! Okay, Joe, or Brad, picking at your damn teeth, aren't you?
You guys are in the cars, getting ready to go, and now you're standing here talking to me.
Yeah, Regan, it just is what it is. So we'll make the most of it. We were, you know,
starting 12
2 laps
duel
from
one.
getting DW's Vortex going. He's not in the booth anymore, but we miss him. But, you know, with respect to
I'm gonna be
that,
right back, guys. You guys keep watching this and put us.
We'll play through it, and, you know, I don't feel like it's going to last very long. This was just a really small pop-up, Regan, so we'll see.
A lot of talk about what type of racing to see tonight. It was very exciting on Sunday during the clash. I know you didn't love it, but what do you expect when we get rolling here in a bit?
Well, you know, you got to make one fuel stop with the way the split in duels is. So with respect to that, you know, I think you'll probably see some pretty clean racing in before that, and then we'll see about after.
All right, Brad, thanks. Good luck tonight. Jamie?
And Ricky Stenhouse Jr., the lucky dog, he gets the pole last week, so that means he's in the #1 pit box tonight. He will lead the field to green. But, Ricky, when you approach this race, obviously you have to take care of your car because if you wreck, you go to the back of the field for the 500. But what other things can you take away from tonight's race?
Yeah, like you and I were talking just earlier is, you know, I got a whole new pit crew. I had the same pit crew for a long time, so, you know, getting them reps, me getting in the box with a new pit sign, you know, a different number, you know, just a lot of things are different. A lot of things inside of my race car are different than what I'm used to, like my pit road stuff that I use, and so all that's good practice for sure. And you know, for me, it's just still getting those reps in. It's, you know, a new season. You've been in the off season, been racing dirt cars, something totally different, and you know, it's just nice to kind of get back in the groove. Obviously, we weren't in the clash this year, so we weren't able to, you know, just get some drafting practice like some of the others did. So we'll see how it goes. Fill it out. Brian told me if we're in the top 4, keep racing. If we're not, then get to the bottom 4. So we'll just kind of, you know, see how it goes throughout the race. It looks like the rain's about stopped. I kind of put a dampener on our parade here. I thought everything was going good this speed weeks, and we've had great weather, but I think it'll pass pretty quick, and we'll get out there and put on a show.
All right, you've told me, and your crew chief, Brian Patty, told me how great your car is, so good luck out there. He wants to lead every lap. You going to go for it?
Yeah, we're going to try and lead every lap. That's always the goal. Tough to do at the speedways. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, does it change your strategy starting on the pole? And really doesn't. You know, I feel like at points in the race, you're leading, you fall to the back, lose your track position, got to gain it back, and it's just the way these speedway races go. But you can't lose your mind, can't freak out when you do get shuffled to the back. Just slowly work your way back to the front.
Good luck. Mike?
When he won the pole, NASCAR wanted him on a plane at 6 p.m. to go to New York for interviews the next day. He said, my dirt car's racing at Volusia. Could we just wait a little while? The plane left 4 hours later at 10 o'clock after he made it to the dirt track.
Verizon 4G, T-Mobile 5G. Which do you think will be faster?
I would imagine 5G. I'm assuming 5G is faster.
Because it's a higher number.
Yeah.
Do you want to see for real?
Yes.
These are normal fingers. You want to test them out? And here we go. Look what it's doing! Verizon 4G is faster than T-Mobile's 5G in New York City. It's sort of a heartbreak in a way. T-Mobile's so much slower, but they have a higher number.
Gotta feel bad for them a little.
Yeah.
And all my people say, oh yeah! Now all my people say, I've been searching for it, waiting for my moment, looking at the sky for the color to change, watching for my time for the stars to align.
Win her heart with a Valentine that's anything but ordinary. Now save 20 to 50% on all fashion jewelry. Every kiss begins with K.
I'm your 70-pound St. Bernard puppy, and my lack of impulse control is about to become your problem.
No, come on. I saw you eating poop earlier.
My focus is on the road, and that's saving me cash with DriveWise.
Alexa, pause music.
Seriously.
Uh-huh.
Lease a new 2020 Toyota RAV4 LE for just $249 a month for 36 months. Toyota, let's go places.
Hi, Samantha. You look more like a Heather. You ever get that?
You're Pete Nokia?
That was actually a professional headshot? Oh. Wait, you don't have...
Geico Sequels. The savings keep on going.
After a huge debut weekend, the sports world is buzzing about the XFL. This week should be even better. Tampa Bay takes on Seattle Saturday at 5 Eastern on Fox. St. Louis versus Houston Sunday at 6 Eastern on FS1, or catch it all on the Fox Sports app. This speedway is no stranger to football. Bethune-Cookman College, just down Speedway Boulevard, hosted 4 college football games on what they call the ball field in the tri-oval between the racetrack and pit road here. I think some of our Fox folks that were at the Super Bowl working overtime to create this graphic.
I love this. This just gives you perspective of how big this racetrack is, that a football field can fit right there at the start-finish line.
So shifting gears, and there have been a lot of changes. Half the field is working with a different driver crew chief combination, and that includes everybody at Team Penske. Drivers kept their car numbers and their spotters and completely rotated crew chiefs, teams, and rolling stock. Here's Regan.
Well, Mike, I thought I had it all figured out, and then I just saw that graphic, and I confused myself again. I saw Jeremy Bone's name, and I thought, no, he's not with you. It's Todd Gordon now. How much has this been a challenge for you to not only get to know Todd Gordon, communicate with him, but also you got a lot of teammates here you got to know now?
Yeah, it wasn't a huge challenge. You know, you kind of know everybody beforehand, but you don't know them as well as, the guys you've worked with before in the past. So it took a little bit, in the shop to get used to it, but really you can do the best you can in the shop and, before the season. But until it gets to be at the racetrack and actually running through practice and the race is really when you get a good feel for it. But it's been a good week so far. We haven't been on track a ton. It stinks they rained a little bit on us, but getting to work with Todd and this whole group, it's different, but I really have enjoyed it so far, and I'm looking forward to the whole year and years to come.
Jeff, you started your career with Ray Evernham, finished up with Alan Gustafson, had a number of big crew chief changes in between. I guess that's just become part of the sport.
It is. I mean, I feel like, there's a period of time when you're working together where the chemistry is good and the team is strong, but if the results don't start, or start to fade, then it's probably time for a change. And I went through something very similar with Alan Gustafson. It wasn't about him becoming my crew chief. It was me moving and going over to him and driving for him and his team and all the cars and everything that he had built. And you build a rapport with your team. It's very difficult to leave some of those guys. So, maybe Ryan Blaney, he's still young. He hasn't been with some of these guys on the team he was with before, with Jeremy Bolins. But I think now, this is going to be a good combination. I'm looking for it. I think Roger Penske did a great job in how he placed these personalities and these talented crew chiefs and drivers together this year. I think it should definitely give him that spark.
It's interesting you say that. You're the star driver, but it's the crew chief's team.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they have worked so hard to build their cars, build their personnel. They play an important role in hiring the engineers, the pit crew. Everybody that's on that team is really there. So when that decision, I know for me, when it came at Hendrick Motorsports, it was, all right, Jeff would love to be working with you as a crew chief. He said, well, no problem. He's got to get his helmet bag and come on over here, put his seats in my car.
Well, speaking of Hendrick, let's have a look at Chase Elliott's season in review from 2019. 18 was a breakout season. 3 wins again in 2019, including his first career superspeedway win at Talladega. And he made his 3rd straight appearance in the playoff round of 8 and was again named most popular driver. Jamie.
Well, Jeff mentioned crew chief Alan Gustafson, and that's exactly what Chase Elliott did. He came into the Cup Series, went right to Alan Gustafson's team, and it's worked out well for you guys. But this is a new season, Chase, and we're here in the dual race. So how do you approach this? I mean, do you push it, knowing that there's a bunch of rookies around you and people with different agendas?
I'm probably not going to.
Alright, guys, I am back.
You always want to race your primary car.
Is it still raining?
500 if you can. So our Napa Camaro has been pretty fast. I feel like
2 times.
got a good qualifying.
I didn't know he won 2 duels. That's actually really cool to think about.
But nonetheless, I've learned in my first handful of years here.
Yeah.
Qualifying day doesn't really guarantee you a good race on 500
Phil.
day.
Oh well.
And that's also includes tonight. So just trying to get this car to Sunday, and we'll go to work then.
When we come to these tracks now, it's all about the manufacturer alliance, and you see the Fords hanging out with the Fords, the Chevys, and the Toyotas hanging out with Toyotas. There's not many Chevys in this race, so what is that plan?
Yeah, I think, we'll work with them when we can. I mean, I think the big thing for us is just, making the most of your time on pit road, and that's going to be where you're able to align yourself with.
So down in the comments, I want to see who you guys pick to win these races. My 2 picks. Actually, I want to see what the lineups are for.
To team up with your manufacturer to try to make the most of that, and that can be the difference in you.
For both the duels.
Being the first 5 cars in line and coming out, and those people that used to be behind you they cycle out back in front of you. So that to me is a big key in plate racing in general.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for duel 1, Ryan Blaney, and then for duel 2, Jimmy Johnson.
A 2-time dual race winner here in Daytona.
Let's make sure. I want to see where Johnson is starting in the 2nd duel.
Verizon 4G, T-Mobile 5G. Which do you think will be faster?
I would imagine 5G. I'm assuming 5G is faster.
Because it's a higher number. Yeah. Do you want to see for real?
Yes.
These are normal fingers. You want to test them out? And here we go. Look what it's doing! Verizon 4G is faster than T-Mobile.
Johnson's starting 2nd in the next duel.
It's sort of a heartbreak in a way. T-Mobile's so much slower, but they have a higher number.
You gotta feel bad for them a little.
Yeah.
And all my people say.
So yeah, I'm going for Ryan Blaney in the 1st duel.
Win her heart
I'm going
with
for
an
Johnson in the 2nd duel.
Now save 20 to 50% on all fashion
Let me
jewelry. Every
do
kiss
something.
begins with K.
I'm gonna be right back with you, right? Okay, that still works.
Thanks, Ted.
I was in the neighborhood.
Lease a new 2020 Toyota Camry LE for just $229 a month for 36 months. Toyota, let's go places.
This is the biggest heavyweight fight in recent history. Here we go again. Shots fired, I'm going in. Standing on left with
Okay. So, while the... if I do that... I just turn off the volume while, alright. No. I don't want ads. They keep coming on. It's like actual NASCAR and ads. Alright. Looks like we will be going green here pretty soon. They got the jet dryers out. What about, oh, I guess, what's his name isn't really a rookie. It's not his full season. I'm thinking of Chad Fincham, because he's racing in this, he's racing Daytona 500. I do agree with that. Tonight it shouldn't be super aggressive with these guys. It would be fun to see these guys be aggressive, but at the same time, don't want to ruin these cars, because these are the cars that are going to be racing in the Daytona 500. Especially if you don't already, if you race the, Jesus. I can't speak, if you race the Clash and you're one of those guys that wrecked, you don't want to wreck one of these cars, because then you might be screwed. You might be screwed out of the race or whatever. I like this question. I like these questions. You can see that fake tooth that Tyler Reddick has. Jeff Gordon's not very nice to call people midgets or cars. You call them small cars. I'm just kidding. The thing is that you had Matt Benedetto in that car. Dude almost won a race in it. At Bristol. That track's not easy to win at. Let alone, like, just add older equipment. Yeah, that's impressive. But good thing, I'm glad that he got to the 21 now. Sorry guys, I'm trying to figure out something real quick. Live screen and then end. Be right back. How do I? Okay, that's all I want to do.
View, but now we have Indy to talk about too. So a lot of people like to talk about Daytona where we ran second, but Indy's right up there as well. So, but we're always fast when we come down to these speedway races, Daytona, Talladega. So everybody back at the shop at RBM, they do a great job of building our fast race cars. So really good Chevrolets, and ours looks the best, of course, with U.S. Air Force on our cars. So huge shout out to them for jumping on board late, last minute. Let me do a really cool thing, jump out of a plane, a perfectly good C-17 aircraft. So, yeah, a lot of excitement, a lot of fun. Excited to get on track, though.
Yeah, it was awesome to see. He jumped out of the plane, tandem jump, and landed right behind us.
Here and start fresh. What happened last year is gone. That's in the past. It's all about a fresh start. And
oh my God, really? I want them to be different.
Sure is. Behind us, the track is graying up. That means it's drying, and we are going racing here in Daytona. As we check in with Shannon and the boys in the Charlotte studio.
Thank you so much, Mike and Jeff. Yeah, I love that we talk about the anticipation, right? Of we can't wait to start this race, and this gives us an opportunity to talk a little bit more about what we're going to see.
This is annoying me, guys.
500, but for the guys out there, Jamie, not just the veterans, but the rookies. What is this process like when you get in the car, you're ready to go, and then you have to stop?
Yeah, I thought it was funny. It's one of the things that John Hunter Nemechek brought up. Rain delays are tough, but nighttime rain delays are even worse because you've sat around all day long. These guys have been waiting to get in the car, and I don't know why, but it always frustrating, right? Because you've kind of went through the whole process. For me, when I got in the car, my nerves always calmed down, so I hated that anticipation of having to get back out. Typically, you go to your motorhome or you go to the team transporter, and you consume every thing that you shouldn't eat in the trailer, and then you go through that whole process again.
Yeah, I think from a crew chief standpoint, especially with this scenario tonight, we talked about it earlier. These cars have been impounded since Sunday qualifying. They had 2 50-minute practices on Saturday, and I think I speak for all 43 crew chiefs in the field, no matter if you qualified up front, in the middle, or at the back. You really don't know what you've got, and you want to see this green flag wave. You want to see what you've got. The good news is this is not a weather delay where we know, oh, it's just going to keep raining. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel. We're going to be racing here shortly.
And speaking of racing, we did Speedway, of course. I'm talking about the Clash on Sunday. Well, every Tuesday on Race Hub, we do a little piece we like to call Radioactive, and it was a really good one this past week, so check it out.
Never seen a bad one.
This will be fun to watch.
Welcome back to
I've been wanting to wait for this one. This will be fun to watch.
Season, we will do it with the 42nd annual Busch Clash.
All right, championship season. Here we go. Looking forward to this year, man. It's going to be a really good one.
Drivers, start your engine.
The Bush guy. I love that they named him the Bush guy.
You know it. Have some fun. Let's do our thing. It's going to be a fun day. No, have a good one, buddy. Starting it all over. Here we go. 5. Ready.
I can't wait to see what happens when they're talking about the wreck at the start, or on the restart. That was just sad.
It'll be exactly what we talked about before the race. Don't slide them. 5-way around 11. 2, 3, 1. Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. 4 tires of fuel, 4 tires of fuel.
Feels bad.
Open in front of 22, still 3 mid.
We're 3 wide, and it's wild and crazy coming off of turn 4.
Toyota's right up the middle with 10 laps to go.
Run coming to the middle with the 18. Inside 11, 3 mid. Easy, 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 easy. Coming as 18 wrecking you there. Keep coming. He's going to hit you and spin you. Yep, just hold the brake. Hold the brake. That's
Like, yep, he's gonna wreck you. Yep, he's on the right.
Joey blocked us 6 different times in one move. Yep, you can only block one time. You want to take the top, take the top. We got to the middle there and he hacked us again. It'll be on you. Free to go. Drink.
Oh! Ryan Newman came down.
Hold it straight. Go straight. Hit what you can. Straight right there. Straight. Clear. There's pretty tore up. Yeah, 24 spun the tires. Everybody on the track spun the tires. A tire down or what? Your car and the next 2 behind you did the exact same thing. Damn, that hurt. Don't happen. This car just turned damn dead left on you. Green. Both are tandem. 12-7 him, 9-7 you.
This is.
Hold on to it there. Hold on to it. Get high. Easy, back it down. Go middle. Go low. Keep coming. Easy. Up.
Holy crap! Oh my god! I didn't even see that.
He's up. On your bumper. Coming down. Inside. Hold the brake now. Your caution's down. Sorry about that. Sorry for what? Doing it, man. Good. Keep this up. We're going to be the only car left. I don't see any behind us. Who do I got behind me? I think the 14. That's the 11 behind him. Yes, it is. You'll have to remember Talladega. Green.
Let's try it again. Green, white, checker.
Stay out of the 6. You're 20. Pushing the 6 hard. Clear, off of you by half, outside top. Here comes your 42 with a big push. Don't get in the top. You're in the 20's outside tight, corner. He's in line with you, trying to push. Get back with the 11. Here comes the help. Pushing you.
Jones, with the most damaged car in the race, he's in the front.
Keep digging.
Denny Hamlin, he's going to push his teammate to the win.
Eric Jones is going to win the Busch Clash with a car that's ready for the dumpster.
You got to be kidding me. Thanks, DH. Awesome. I was going to tell you to burn it down, but I think you already have. Start on, boys. How about that, Jones? There you go, baby. 2020.
That's great.
How about that, Jones? And of course, you can see Radioactive on Tuesday on NASCAR Race Hub, and this upcoming week, it will be the Daytona 500 Radioactive. So it's a big one on the Race Hub show. I loved what Alan Gustafson said when you heard him, because of course Chase Elliott's like, sorry about that, and he's like, sorry about what? Why do you think that tonight, this dual races, why do you think that this will be different than what we saw this past weekend?
Well, look, what sticks out to me the most of that footage is that there was only 6 cars on the track at the end, and how much passing was going on. A year ago with the other rules package, we would not have seen that. So it's crazy to see the runs that the guys are able to generate. I mean, that's what you're going to see tonight. Is that when it gets down to the end, it's not like you can't get the run that you need. When there's just 2 cars in line, the guy behind can get a run. So clearly tonight, if they want to get aggressive at the end, they'll have the ability to do that.
Do you think we're going to see wrecking like we did in the Clash?
I'm not going to rule it out.
I'm going to join this conversation. No, I don't think there's going to be a lot of
special event on Sunday.
Exactly, Larry, man.
But now, let's think about Sunday. When we start closing in on the end of stage 1 and stage 2, and those playoff points are available, and those 10 points for winning the stage, that's when things get a little different. But when we get to the end of the Daytona 500, when those spotters and those crew chiefs tell those drivers 10 or 15 laps to go, that's when it is a game changer. I go back 2 years ago. Eric Almirola tried to throw the block on Austin Dillon. Austin Dillon stayed in the throttle. You have an opportunity to win
Austin
a
Dillon
race
wrecked
that
him.
will change your career, will change your life just like it did for him in 2010, and you're going to do whatever it takes. If that's blocking, punting, it does not matter.
Of course, Eric Jones already got the victory in the Clash. Looking forward to see who is able to get the victories tonight. Of course, set the starting lineup for the Daytona 500, the biggest race in all of NASCAR. The greatest day of all racing returns. The Daytona 500 kicks off the 2020 NASCAR season Sunday at 2:30 Eastern, with the pre-race beginning at 1, only on Fox. So our friends down at Daytona have told us that the track is drying nicely take a look at the jet dryers out there, the Air Titans, hard at work as the drivers wait out the rain. We will be right back. Join us right here.
Only part that isn't like super dry right now is the
Hi, Samantha. You look
top.
like a Heather. You ever get that?
Your Pete Nokia?
That was actually a professional headshot? Oh. Wait, you don't have... Oh.
Geico sequels. The savings keep on going.
Did you know that Verizon 4G is faster than T-Mobile's 5G?
4G faster than the 5G? Should we test it out?
Yes. Here we go. In New York City, Verizon is the clear winner. So much faster.
The following is a list of snow day closings due to inclement weather. All two-wheel drive crossovers should close for the day. Wannabe SUVs should close for the day. Regular four-door sedans should close for the foreseeable future. All Jeep 4x4 vehicles will remain open, despite the harsh weather conditions.
Okay.
My body is truly powerful.
I have the
It got rained out, so like there's a short little
Because I can
shower
still
thing,
make my
but
own
they're
insulin.
drying the track.
And Trulicity activates my body to release it, like it's supposed to.
Trulicity is for people with type 2 diabetes. It's not insulin. I take it once a week. It starts acting in my body from the first dose.
Trulicity isn't for people with type 1 diabetes or
Do you mean like
diabetic
take out the
ketoacidosis.
trash,
Don't take
like the
Trulicity
trash
if you're allergic
can,
to it, you
or
or your
the...
family have medullary thyroid cancer or
Okay.
have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2. Stop Trulicity and call your doctor right away if you have an allergic reaction, a lump or swelling in your neck, or severe stomach pain. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Taking Trulicity with a sulfonylurea or insulin increases low blood sugar risk. Side effects include nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, belly pain, and decreased appetite, which lead to dehydration and may worsen kidney problems.
I have it within me to
I don't
lower
have a
my
lot of
A1C.
plans.
Ask your doctor about Trulicity.
Basically, just go to school.
And all my people say,
And a girlfriend. Go around 5.
Win her heart with an extraordinary Valentine. Now save 20 to 50% on all fashion jewelry.
Unless
Every kiss
Kira
begins
decides
with K.
that she wants to make plans with me and her. I don't know though. To make like if she has plans that I don't know about. I don't know. Just not anything.
Welcome back as we continue to watch the track drying activities out there at Daytona. That's good news right there. Looks like they're pulling off the cover off of some of these race cars.
Yeah.
The track is drying really nice out at the Daytona International Speedway. You know, one of the most successful drivers in all of NASCAR is hanging up his helmet at the end of the season. Jimmy Johnson retiring from full-time auto racing in 2020. And what a career it's been. But as Jeff Gordon tells us, there's still plenty of time to make more memories.
Walk-offs, Hail Marys, a 3 at the buzzer. These are the big dreams we have as kids. How we want to win in the big game, and how we want to walk away at our best. In a significant moment on the biggest stage. Elway, Sampras, Marciano, they all walked away after winning it all. A Super Bowl, the U.S. Open, a 6th heavyweight title defense. Sometimes you go out on top, winning, competing for championships. Sometimes a fairy tale ending just isn't in the cards. And sometimes someone else lets us know it's time.
Good afternoon. My name is Genevieve Johnson, and this is my sister Lydia. On behalf of our entire family, we would like to thank you for all being here. Today is a very special announcement.
Jimmy Johnson has told us. He said it. He's done.
Okay.
One more season. And the last 2, well, they've been far from memorable for that 48.
Jimmy Johnson with a lot of right side damage. He hit the wall up in turn 3.
Yeah, last couple of years have not been kind to Mr.
Yes. I actually, when I got home, I did a lesson.
Pure magic. 83 wins,
Probably not right when you get home.
And 5 of those in a row. He was the fastest, the smartest, simply the best for almost a decade.
Can't pause it.
Any car, any strategy, Jimmy Johnson won. And he did it gracefully.
Okay, okay.
And with absolute class. With one final season left to go, that old 7-time has one more shot to go out on top. Bork did it. Williams did it. Bryant did it. There is no doubt that Jimmy too could do it. Go out on top, like the GOAT he is.
I swear,
No, I
every time I
wouldn't
see
do
that
that
piece, I
before I
still
go.
get goosebumps.
Yeah.
It's really well done.
I just
Thank
don't
you,
want
Jeff.
it to melt.
You know, Jimmy talked at Media
I
Day
just don't want it to melt.
yesterday, and he said he was going to really try to enjoy every single second, try to take in the moments of this year. How hard is that for a race car driver to do?
Well, the other thing I heard him say at Media Day was that the hardest part was telling himself that it was time and to make that commitment.
I
From
might.
what I've seen since he made the announcement, he seems at ease. So I think
Maybe,
that will
maybe
be easier
not.
for him.
Maybe I'll
I
just
can't
drag
imagine,
on
you know,
my
going through
lie
all the
of
success that he had
I
and
haven't
the
got
struggles
her
he's had the last
anything
couple years.
until like the end
But
of the
Jimmy,
day.
I mean, you know, those that know him, I mean, he's a fun guy, right? And he seems like he's having a good time right now. And I hope first off, I hope he can win. Like I'm a fan. I'm
that's
Team
true.
Jimmy. But I hope that he can enjoy it as well. And he's left the door open. We've heard Jeff talk about on the broadcast that we don't really know what's in store for him. I saw he was at another racetrack at the end with the Indy cars the other day, so there's no telling what we're going to see from Jimmy Johnson.
I would have never believed in my wildest dreams that we would be sitting here on February 13th, 2020, talking about 7-time champion Jimmy Johnson sitting on a 95 race winless streak. Would I love to see him win this year? Absolutely. Would I love to see him in the quest for 8? Absolutely. But I just want to see him, to Jamie's point, enjoy this year. I want to see him be competitive. Yeah, if he can win, that's great. I just want to see him be competitive. But you know what? 83 wins, 7 championships, but I've said it and said it and said it. The magic number is 5. 5 consecutive championships in this era. That I think I say with confidence that will never be repeated again.
And it's been such an honor to sort of have a front row seat to all of that, all of his success. Jimmy will be in the second duel coming up at Daytona a little bit later this evening. Of course, track drying is still underway out there at the speed.
I'll get them back.
Stenhouse Jr. is your pole sitter for the Daytona 500. He will lead the field to green.
Really? Oh my god. Well, I guess if it's already like this, I'm just gonna sign back in because it's stupid.
Hey, you guys look like foodies. Would you like to try our trashy back ribs?
Yeah, we're gonna just do a lap and we'll...
It's a higher number. Do you want to see for real?
Yes.
These are normal fingers. You want to test them out? And here we go. Look what it's doing! Verizon 4G is faster than T-Mobile's 5G in New York City. It's sort of a heartbreak in a way. T-Mobile's so much slower, but they have a higher number.
Gotta feel bad for them a little.
Yeah.
The following is a list of snow day closings. All two-wheel drive crossovers and wannabe SUVs should close for the foreseeable future. All cheap 4x4 vehicles will remain open, despite the harsh weather conditions.
My body is truly powerful.
I have the power to lower my blood sugar and A1C.
Because I can still make my own insulin. And Trulicity activates my body to release it, like it's supposed to. Trulicity is for people with type 2 diabetes. It's not insulin. I take it once a week. It starts acting in my body from the first dose.
Trulicity isn't for people with type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis. Don't take Trulicity if you're allergic to it, you or your family have medullary thyroid cancer, or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2. Stop Trulicity and call your doctor right away if you have an allergic reaction, a lump or swelling in your neck, or severe stomach pain. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Taking Trulicity with a sulfonylurea or insulin increases low blood sugar risk. Side effects
effects include nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, belly pain, and decreased appetite, which lead to dehydration and may worsen kidney problems.
I have it within me to lower my A1C.
Ask your doctor about Trulicity.
And all my people say, oh yeah. Now all my people say, I've been searching for it, waiting for my moment, looking at the sky for the color to change, watching for my time for the stars to align.
Ugh.
Win her heart with a Valentine.
Disgusting.
Now save 20 to 50% on all fashion jewelry. Every kiss begins with K.
Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Chase the possibilities, unlock discovery at every turn. Goodyear, more driven. You saw right before we went to commercial break that the drivers were climbing back into their race cars down there at Daytona, which means we are getting closer and closer to getting this green flag race underway.
Here we go.
Christopher Bell, one of the rookies that's going to be
Ew, it's Joey Logano.
day for him, right? I mean, we talked about the butterflies for some of these young rookies.
He doesn't seem very nervous.
No.
Joey Logano, champion's already got his helmet on. It's ready to go. Christopher Bell's just kind of casually getting in.
And you know, as a crew chief, I want to make sure that the crew is back focused, because I talked to Mike and Jeff about this earlier. One pit stop possibly tonight, and you do not get an opportunity to make a mistake. And we saw it last year in the dual races. Speeding on pit road, over the wall too soon, sliding through your pits. You have something like that happen, especially for those drivers trying to race their way in, that pretty much will end the night right there.
And you know, the routine has been broken here because they've gotten in, they've had to get out. So they're going to have to kind of get their composure and get everything back together. To Larry's point, I'm pretty sure the crew chief's going to come on the radio and be like, listen, let's remember what our game plan is. Let's not divert from that, and let's go out and try to win a race.
And we all have our routine here as well, right? We finish here, and then we throw to the guys out at the track. And that, of course, is Mike Joy and Jeff Gordon. So let's go through our routine and send it back to you guys.
Thanks, Shannon. They're set to fire engines. Drivers are aboard. We're ready to go. I would imagine, Jeff, for those that have seen success at Daytona especially, and for the veteran drivers, you know, this is old hat. We'll race as soon as we can race. But for the rookies and for the drivers who are in new situations with new teams or with new crew chiefs, John Hunter Nemechek admitted to butterflies, and I'll bet he's not the only one.
And I don't think he was telling the truth to Regan Smith. I think he is going to have butterflies as they take that green flag. But yeah, it's all about a routine. It's all about going through all that checklist that you already went through, now getting your mind back ready to race.
Here we go. Oh.
Don't you love that sound?
Now everything's right. A brief but heavy shower came across the track just about at race time. It's gone off to the ocean, and now we're ready to race. Will we see the kind of aggression that marked the Busch Clash, especially for drivers that are trying to race their way in or feel they have something to prove here?
Now, hold on. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is in this race, and he is an aggressive driver, and he has a very fast race car. But we all know how comfortable he is behind the wheel of a Ford. He's never been behind the wheel of a Chevrolet. So I think he's going to be aggressive to try to stay out front. And also, we got Denny Hamlin in this race. He's a three-time winner, and Denny Hamlin really likes to be aggressive and make some moves that you normally wouldn't want to do in a conservative race or in a conservative mode. So I'm going to have my eyes on both of these drivers, not to mention we got some further back that might have to race their way in.
Yeah, I looked at drivers like Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin who had great time trials, but they're going to have great finishes if they're going to want to keep those upfront starting spots for the 500. We'll talk to Denny Hamlin in just a bit here.
If you need lumberwood, Lonnie,
if you need lumberwood,
best selection of plywood in the state. Hey! Dang, woodchucks, stop chucking that wood.
Geico Sequels. The savings keep on going.
Verizon 4G, T-Mobile 5G. Which do you think will be faster?
I would imagine 5G. I'm assuming 5G is faster.
Because it's a higher number. Yeah. Do you want to see for real?
Yes.
These are normal fingers. You want to test them out? And here we go. Look what it's doing! Verizon 4G is faster than T-Mobile's 5G in New York City. It's sort of a heartbreak in a way. T-Mobile's so much slower, but they have a higher number.
You gotta feel bad for them a little.
Yeah.
The following is a list of snow day closings due to inclement weather. All two-wheel drive crossovers should close for the day. Wannabe SUVs should close for the day. Regular four-door sedans should close for the foreseeable future. All cheap 4x4 vehicles will remain open, despite the harsh weather conditions.
Wow.
All people are tax people. If you're selling by yourself, let me see you clap it up. Clap it up. Clap it up. You got a question to ask? A CPA can help you there. Help you there. Got a W-2? Go on and wave it in the air. Wave it in the air. Now take your picture. Easy uploads. It's a mobile feature. All people are tax people. Into it, TurboTax.
And I'm a people say.
I hate this commercial so much.
Win her heart with an extraordinary Valentine. Now save 20 to 50% on all fashion jewelry. Every kiss begins with K.
Here we go.
On FS1. Cars on track, and now with the dry track, we are ready to go. Here is your starting grid, presented by Blue Green Vacations. Chevy's on the front row. Ricky Stenhouse, the 500 pole sitter, along with Chase Elliott.
All right.
In row 2, three-time dual winner Denny Hamlin, with Eric Almirola, a Toyota and a Ford. Christopher Bell, his first ever race in a Cup car, and Joey Logano, who won his duel last year. Clint Boyer, 3 times a bridesmaid, never a bride in the duel, and Ryan Newman, former Daytona 500 winner. Ryan Preece in a Chevrolet, and Chris Buescher moves over to Ford.
Yeah, in row 6. Hard to believe Mark Truex Jr. is yet to win anything in a Cup car at Daytona, but oh so close at 2016 Daytona 500. And alongside him, Brad Keselowski looking to get that momentum going here early 2020. But boy, the tools have not been his friend. Looking in row 7, rookie John Hunter Nemechek in his first dual start, and alongside a guy that's super strong on the super speedways, Ryan Blaney.
Austin Dillon, the 2018 500 winner, and Justin Haley is one of those must-race-in drivers. He timed in over the weekend, so he's guaranteed to be in the 500. That means Reed Sorensen is trying to race his way in, along with former 500 runner-up Bubba Wallace.
Also, I really do like this 16 for
Quinn Houff has his first dual start after running a
that guy.
season
Yeah, the
last
16.
year.
So I don't know, man.
Chad Fincham is another car that must try to race in. And
Come on,
so
Chad. Woo!
takes up the 22nd and final spot.
I want Chad to be able to race it. That'd be
What do you
kind of
say
cool.
we dial up a 3-time dual winner, Denny Hamlin? Hey, Denny Hamlin, Jeff up the Fox Sports booth. You got me?
Yeah, I do.
Now, Denny, you're not known to be exactly calm and patient in these types of races. We've seen you make some great moves, and we're counting on it. So tell us, what is your approach? How do you make sure you keep all those fenders on this car?
I mean, this race, typically you want to be a little bit more tame than say the Clash, where typically those cars are not backup for the 500. So, of course, I'd like to get a good finish, but mostly just trying to put my car in a lot of different places, trying to find pockets there that I want to seek out on Sunday that I feel like my car will take off in. So I'll do it's kind of just more experimenting than anything, and then at the end you kind of want to get a good finish.
All right, well, thanks for talking to us, and we're looking forward to going along for the ride. Thank you.
Denny Hamlin will roll off third. Looks like at least one more pace lap. Caution lights still on. Let's check on pit road. Jamie Little.
Well, Mike, if Ricky Stenhouse Jr. could have it his way, he will lead all 60 laps of this race. He wants to prove that his car doesn't just have raw speed, but that his car is a good race car as well, in the draft and not in the draft. But you have to keep in mind, he has to be careful. A wreck tonight could mean the difference between starting on the pole for the Daytona 500 or dropping to the back and starting in the rear. Regan Smith?
Well, Jamie, Jeff just alluded to the fact that Martin Truex Jr. came oh so close in 2016 to winning this race, or to winning the Daytona 500. But this year, things are completely different. James Small now takes over as crew chief for Cole Pern. The return of engineer Jeff Jazzy Curtis to the team. These guys are loose. They feel good about things. And when I asked Martin if this car had any weaknesses before he climbed in, he said absolutely none. If we're running at the end, we will have a shot to win this race tonight.
Truex will start 11. Ricky Stenhouse,
There we
the
go.
sitter, has elected the outside of the front row for
Oh,
the
boy.
start of this one. Larry McReynolds,
Don't act stupid, anyone.
this little rain delay,
Except if you want to spin tires and wreck.
what we're looking at or
I'm fine with that.
Mike, you've known me for 20 years. I'm nervous about everything all the time. But the good thing is it did not rain that long and the cars did not sit that long. But the thing that all 43 of these crew chiefs are nervous about tonight, these cars, other than one qualifying lap on Sunday, they have not turned a lap since Saturday. Everybody's on pins and needles till we get these races started and they see what they've got.
Remember, only 18 drivers were in the clash. For everybody else, this will be their first green flag of competition.
So this is already a bigger race than the Clash.
Laps, 150 miles. Fuel window,
So this idiot right here doesn't do anything stupid.
Pit road speed 55 miles an hour.
This idiot, I meant. This idiot doesn't do
And
anything
here's
stupid.
Eric Almirola and his team.
Hopefully this one's a little less eventful than the Clash was. I would say the taste is left in everybody's mouth. This should be pretty calm, I'm hoping.
New crew chief Mike Bugaravich.
I was going to say, it might be calm. I do anticipate these drivers doing something different than they did in the Clash. I expect them to probably get in that outside lane, which I think is why Ricky Stenhouse Jr. chose the outside. And they're probably going to kind of get single file ride for a little bit until that green flag stop comes. And then it's going to get pretty wild because there's still some points on the line at the end of this race.
Lights are out atop the 2020 Toyota Camry TRD that leads the field here in Daytona.
About to go green. Here we go, boys. Woo.
Sharp left turn. And then Ricky Stenhouse and this 22-car field will address themselves to the start line. And we'll see where everybody will line up in the Daytona 500 on Sunday. First of two duels. 60
And
laps.
green flag is in the air. Woo.
Big jump out there. Maybe this was the plan was Ricky Stenhouse Jr. starts on the outside and then goes down to pick up his Chevy teammate in Chase Elliott.
Good point, Jeff. There's only 3 Chevys in the first half of the field. Stenhouse, Chase Elliott, and Ricky's new teammate, Ryan Preece.
This is mostly a Ford.
See already Denny Hamlin getting pretty aggressive with the push to Chase Elliott's rear bumper.
That paid off.
Oh, it certainly did. I mean, that's exactly what Chase wanted to see because that gets him out and breaks him free of those two side-by-side cars of Eric Almirola and Denny Hamlin.
Ford's on the outside. Almirola with Logano and Buescher.
There's a big push from Joey Logano to Eric Almirola. Now that car might get a run, get to the outside. You see Denny Hamlin not settling for just settling in. I mean, he is being aggressive to the rear bumper of Chase Elliott.
Christopher Bell behind Hamlin's 11.
And the question is,
And Clint Boyer.
if they do get aggressive, when will they get aggressive?
Not so sure how happy Chase Elliott is right now. Early in this race, these are the first laps of this race car really in the draft since qualifying at all. I mean,
Suarez needs to race in. Fincham needs to race in. And yeah, Sorensen.
Now on your pylon at the bottom, the drivers in yellow are those trying to race their way into the 500. One of them.
Oh, I thought that was a wreck already.
Well, look at all the sparks. This is what I love about racing at night. And it's very hard There's Suarez making a big move to the outside. They've got the back
They're
car
going
down for speed. It's really low, and so you're seeing a lot of sparks already.
Suarez versus Reed Sorensen from Georgia in the 27, and only one of them is going to make the 500.
Man, look at all those sparks.
Honestly, I feel like if they have a wreck and those two get in, I really want Chad to get in.
You go through qualifying, you want to get your car down low for qualifying, but then you're going to raise it up, but you don't know exactly what the
I don't know why.
are going to be like in this race.
I've followed Chad on
in these kinds of conditions.
Instagram.
Cool at night.
She's like a pretty cool guy.
Whoa, look at 3 wide back there in the back with Suarez trying to make it 3 wide.
Ryan Newman started 8th. He's dropped all the way to the back. And for the lead, Clint Boyer on the outside.
Clint Boyer just sidejacked himself.
From Almirola and Logano in Fords. Chevy's and a Toyota on the inside. Larry Mack.
Yeah, Mike, you see those two Chevrolet drivers. You see Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 47 and Chase Elliott in the 9. When I looked at the lineup for this dual race, it was actually fairly light on the Chevrolets. You see Ryan Preece there on the inside in that 47.
Chad or fall off.
And that's about the only top-running Chevrolet drivers that are in this first duel.
That sucks.
Kind of thin for the bow tie brigade. 7 overall in this race, but 4 of those at the back.
Right now, Mike, you see that outside lane. Forward. Watch for those Fords to line up, start working together, and make that outside line start to move. I got to say, I'm a little surprised. I really expected these drivers to try to get single file here early on. Maybe the opportunity just hasn't presented itself yet.
We have a little bit of a breakaway, but it looks like that might be filled in pretty quick.
But it's tough to gain any ground when you got a fast group on the bottom taking the short way around.
Yeah, and you've got those guys working pretty hard to keep that gap really.
That's one thing we didn't see in the clash, the bottom working. So it is kind of cool to see that the bottom is working again. But will the top side be able to prevail and get back up to those guys? They just have to get more organized. No one, like, the 10
don't count out Ryan Preece in the 37
is not even getting behind him. Like, he is, but he's not. No pushing.
Pretty consistent on these
almost got him.
with quite a few top 10. So he knows how to get to the end of these races.
Has the best average finish on super speedways of any driver in the 500 field. Chevrolet out front. They have a new body this year with a new nose and a new tail, trying to gain increased downforce, which will pay off at maybe at many tracks other than Daytona and Talladega. I guess the big question here is it going to make bump drafting any easier for the Chevys than it was last year?
Well, we've seen where the Chevys have had really good speed down here at Daytona and on the super speedways, but they usually really lacked in handling. They had a hard time holding on to those cars. That's where the Toyotas and the Fords have been really strong. But you bring up something important, those bumpers. They've made adjustments to the front and rear bumpers of these cars. I don't think they're still as good and as flat as the Fords, as pushers, and maybe even the Toyotas, but they have made improvements.
So far, the one guy that's in, Sorensen. They're taking words out of my mouth at this point.
Chad Fincham are the 3 drivers trying to race their way in duel number 1.
And
here they are.
One of the questions I had was, what is Justin Hayden?
Dude, that's actually kind of a nice car for the 00. I dig it.
Go out there and try to improve his starting position for the 500 right now. He's out there. I don't know if he's taking any chances, but he's ahead of quite a few of these cars that are trying to race their way in.
Senator Suarez,
number 16 on the inside behind Austin Dillon.
And I thought I heard him earlier in the week, Mike, after qualifying, say, you know what, we can't afford to do anything that's going to get us in trouble with this race car. We're not going to be that aggressive, but so far, he's right in the thick of it.
But Jeff, as long as we have 2 rows wide, how risky is this for somebody like Haley?
Well, right now, if you keep those gaps, like now, I've been a little surprised how much I've seen drivers pushing already. That's risky. There's another move right there by Almirola pushing the 14 of Clint Boyer on the outside. That is risky. But if you keep the gaps and you don't really start pushing and shoving a lot, I think that it's pretty safe out there. You see Denny Hamlin dive into that outside lane. No, now they're going to take him 3 wide. This is not going to work out well for Denny Hamlin. He's going to go pretty far back here.
And the why of that is one of the cars you're going to have to beat. So why help Hamlin if you think he's got a good chance to beat you?
Absolutely. I think he's one of the best on the super speedways, has one of the fastest cars. He's won 3 of these cars. I'm not counting him out because he's going to go pretty far back here. But absolutely, if I have a chance of putting Denny Hamlin to the back, I'm going to take advantage of it.
From our aerial coverage, let's have a look at what happened to Hamlin.
Well, we see Denny's running pretty comfortable in the 3rd spot. I think he saw that outside lane starting to form with some momentum. He really wanted to get up in front of the front bumper.
Dang, yeah.
But Clint thought otherwise. It said, no, I've got an opportunity and a run going. I'm going to go the outside. Right now, Denny Hamlin's hitting the steering wheel. He's pretty frustrated with that move.
Hamlin all the way back to 16th.
Uh-oh. We saw what that did in the clash on Sunday to our leader, Mark Truex Jr. Let's see what happens with our leader, Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
10 laps complete. Ricky Stenhouse has led them all.
Hi, Samantha. You look more like a Heather. You ever get that?
You're Pete Pinocchio?
That was actually a professional headshot. Oh, wait, you don't have...
Geico sequels. The savings keep on going.
We all use our cell phones very differently.
Why the French family chose Verizon.
So she's always on social media.
He's always watching sports. Someone's video chatting her friends. My parents are getting older, so knowing that I can get in touch with them at any time is really comforting.
Grandma, you're on TV.
Wow, what channel? The network more people rely on gives you more. Like plans your family can mix and match starting at just $35. So everyone gets the plan they need and Disney Plus on us. Plus one of our best phones when you buy one. That's Verizon.
No matter how much life pushes us around,
I don't want to talk about it.
she keeps us centered with those 3 little words.
Look around you.
Introducing the Center of Me collection, because every "Your love keeps me centered" begins with K.
John Tyson's motto was, "When better chickens are hatched, we will hatch them." It's why all of the Tyson chicken that bears his name is raised with no antibiotics ever. Every nugget, strip, and drumstick. Keep it real. Keep it Tyson.
We made USAA insurance for veterans like Martin. When his wife retired, they buckled down and switched to USAA insurance for low rates and higher standards. USAA, what you're made of, we're made for.
Alright. Should be back here any minute now because commercials for NASCAR are basically the race. It's just the race to see how long commercials will take. That's how I see it, at least. But they take forever. USAA. There we go.
14 laps complete in the first Blue-Green Vacations duel on FS1.
Water temp, check the water temp. -30 on the water. Simple. Just tell them keep track of it, got debris on the grill. If the temperatures are good, we're good.
So obviously a little code talking about the temperatures in degrees there, and instead of actually giving the number to his competitors, he just gave kind of a reference where they start or where their target is. So far, you know, it's cool at night here, getting a little bit lucky, and Larry, is that actual debris covering the actual opening that's not taped up?
Yeah, it is, Jeff. And of course, these crew chiefs, they run as much tape as they possibly can. You can see it right there. I mean, that's almost over the entire opening, and you've already got it taped up for aerodynamic. But it's twofold, Jeff, and you know this. Yeah, when you get over 300 degrees, obviously that's when you get in a danger zone. But it's a pressurized water system. As long as you don't go above that 35 PSI on the pressure relief valve, as long as you don't do that, it's like your passenger car that's pressurized. Then it's not, you don't get in that much danger.
And Larry, that probably is what they're doing, is not paying attention to water temperature, talking about water pressure. So maybe that's the number that Ricky Stenhouse Jr. was relaying to Brian Patty.
Well, Larry, most importantly, is this the engine they would have to run in the Daytona 500?
Yeah, you cannot change the engine, Mike. No longer can you do that. What you unload with is what you race in the 500. If you have to change, the penalty to the rear of the field. The good thing for this 47 car, here in about 2 to 4 laps, the window will open for that green flag pit stop I spoke about.
JTG Doherty leading more laps at Daytona than in any previous duel. Great for Jody and Tad Geschechter and NBA legend Brad Doherty. The owners of that team.
Stenhouse, please, already.
Remember Doherty's number at UNC and on the Cleveland Cavaliers? He wore the number of his boyhood hero, who was Richard Petty.
Oh, yeah.
43.
Exactly, absolutely. And I know they wish they could have 43 on this car, but it's running like it's a 43 car out front right now.
Daniel Suarez up to 10th place, trying to race his way into the 500. They didn't show much speed on qualifying day. They've been hard at work since. But since qualifying, Austin Dillon right behind Suarez. Here's Dillon's radio.
I think it's a little too risky to get to 96 before we pit, but those are pretty good runs to get on the backstretch. When he hits the brakes, that's when you take advantage of it. Or just quarter panel, go to the bottom and come up. Yeah, simple. I think we can do it.
So that's a move that we've seen become pretty popular here, where if you want to make a pass and do it by yourself, you get a run, you get up to their quarter panel, put your right front fender right there and sort of pull them back. And then you go into the corner, you dive low, and hopefully that creates a gap in this line of cars that you can slide up to. It's a little risky, but it is a good move if you execute it well.
So if the manufacturers pit on different laps, when the pit window opens, who comes first?
Very good question. I mean, I kind of expected them, if you look at previous years, to already be on pit road. So a little surprised they're going a little further here in this particular race. But that's a great question, Mike. I'm really anxious to see. To me, it's not about who gets there first. It's who gets off of pit road first, because we've seen if you come off pit road ahead of your competitors, there's a good chance you might win this duel.
Well, there's a tip. I think the Toyotas are coming. They peel off down to the low side. There's 2 of the 4 in this race. You have Suarez, Truex, Bell, and Hamlin. Well, not this time.
Well, yeah, and that was actually Truex going to the inside of another Toyota, which is Christopher Bell. So I don't think if Truex was coming to pit road, I think all those Toyotas would have jumped to the bottom. Pretty impressed that Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is still holding strong in that lead, not having to address all that debris. I mean, there cannot be much air.
I have probably been asking Ricky Stenhouse Jr. every corner of every lap, what is the temperature, what is the water?
Oh, here we go again. Why is it every time I use this website, it acts stupid? Refresh. Why?
The less fuel you need, the less wear you're going to put on those tires in the second run here to the checkered flag. So is there an urgency to pit early?
Well, Mike, you're still going going to need almost a full can of fuel, which is about 6 to 7 seconds. And that was the debate today as I talked to crew chiefs. If we've got to stay there that long, we might want to go ahead and do right side tires. But everybody has to be on the same page. That's the only way it works.
So the lap before, we saw Truex poke out, try to make a move. That time we saw Denny Hamlin go to the bottom. I'm not sure if those guys are just needing to get some clean air. Maybe they've got a little more tape. Maybe they're starting to see some heat, and they're just trying to get some clean, cool air to the nose. Now the three of Austin Dillon might try to make that move we talked about on Suarez, but he's not going to clear him.
Wind up, I think.
I think I heard this time.
Absolutely.
That did not work for him at all.
Yeah, looks like those Chevrolets down the bottom. All the Chevrolets in the back too. So here come the Chevys.
You in the 9 right now.
All right, all Chevys are coming down. Every single one of them.
At lap 23.
And now you got the Fords and Toyotas out.
Well, Austin Dillon finds his pit stall right now. His main goal for tonight is to get into a rhythm with his new crew chief and new spotter. So far, mission accomplished. Jamie.
Alan Gustafson told me it's not necessary to have to take tires on the 9. Meanwhile, the 47, you saw them just wipe the grill to get
They're tightening up a little bit on the Stenhouse and cleaning the grill. Not bad. I don't know what the why they're tightening him up. But there has to be reason.
They all come out in one group.
Now the Toyotas.
4 Toyotas in this race. Here they all are. At lap 24.
That's gonna suck for Kyle Busch though. He's not gonna have
Hamlin, Truex,
any friends.
Suarez.
Oh, a little bit of contact there between the 95 and the 19. Truex is not in his pit box. Regan.
Junior completely misses his pit box. We see him having to back up to get back to it. He predicted this car would be very good on old tires. Looks like they're going to stick with the plan and go with no tires, fuel only with this race car. Jamie?
And the 95 Christopher Bell, first ever pit stop there in a Cup car. You see, here's the replay. The 95, they are, and a bump by Christopher Bell. Didn't expect the 19 of Truex to check up.
That's Truex's fault. He should have. Yeah, Chris, I don't see how that's Christopher Bell's fault. Truex should have stopped. He should have gone down further and then braking was out of the way. Cause that's not fair. And now all the Fords.
The Fords have yet to pick. Let's check with Jamie McMurray.
Yeah, guys, you saw all these guys running right against the wall. As soon as the Chevys pulled off the pit, the Fords then went to the bottom. They're running about 3/4 of a second faster than they were up against the wall. I think they're going to stay out for a little while here. They're going to build a little bit of a gap. After they pit, then they'll be in their own race.
Yeah, Jamie, one of the strategies you can use here is to see if others make mistakes. We know how aggressive you got to be to get to pit road. You can miss a shift, wheel hop, maybe lose control. We've seen that happen under green, so I wonder if they were seeing those other pit stops play out first.
44.37, the last lap for leader Clint.
Right.
He's the quickest car on the racetrack right now as we go Fox side by side.
The sports world is buzzing about the XFL.
Absolutely tremendous. It's XFL football, man.
The spring football millions of fans have always wanted. Big hit is finally here to stay.
Into the end zone. Touchdown.
And this week should be even better.
That was gorgeous.
Tampa Bay, Seattle, Saturday at 5 Eastern on Fox. Download the Fox Sports Super 6 app today and lock in your free XFL picks for a chance to win cash prizes.
Ever since we moved here, I've been noticing it. I think the house is changing him.
Up and at him.
Into his father. Is it scary?
It's in eco mode, so don't touch it. I can't stop this from swinging. There must be a draft in here.
But he did save a bunch of money bundling our home and auto with Progressive.
Progressive can't protect you from becoming your parents, but we can protect your home and auto when you bundle with us.
Hello.
Sorry, honey. Butt dial.
Hey guys,
But,
dysfunction, you can now get
commercial, I swear, some of them are just so stupid.
even here.
Okay, maybe not there. That's why we built Roman. So it's easy to get ED meds prescribed online, delivered to your door. Just visit GetRoman.com, chat with a U.S. licensed physician, and if treatment is right for you, you'll get genuine medication delivered in discreet packaging. Roman, let's take care of it. Get started with your free online visit at GetRoman.com/TV.
When it comes to America's most loved pizza, love is limitless.
I think they'll be coming down now.
Enjoy unlimited medium one-topping pizzas for just $6.99 each. You could order just one, but why limit yourself? Hello to America's most loved pizza. Hello, Marco's.
I am a party, and everyone's invited. The young, the old, the known, and even the future.
Stewart Friesen wins!
I am up late, and I am gonna keep going until someone drinks some champagne. I am a wild ride, so you better strap in. I am the NASCAR Gander RV and Outdoors Truck Series.
Gander Outdoor on Gong Truck Series. Oh yeah. You know what I just said there. Oh! What the fuck happened? Why is it that Ryan Blaney always... Oh, I need to see what the fuck happened.
An absolute heartbreaker in turn 4 for Daniel Suarez. His Toyota had to race its way into the 500, and as he got lapped by the lead pack and then the Fords decided to come to pit road, contact between he and Ryan Blaney.
What happened?
I was just talking about, being aggressive, getting to pit road. You could see they tried to go to the outside of Daniel Suarez. Oh, Suarez had to go up to miss Keselowski and made heavy contact with the 12 of Ryan Blaney.
Fucking moron.
Didn't look like Blaney was part of that group that was going to pit because that inside lane was fill up.
Yeah, there was no way Blaney was going to be able to make it to pit road there. But what's the impact of this now for Daniel Suarez being one of those open cars? Had to race his way in. So I just wonder, was Blaney going to try to maybe sneak to the outside or in that gap between the 17 and the 2? I don't see how that was going to be possible. He had to have known that Suarez has already made his pit stop.
But he also knew he had Ryan Newman on his outside. Couldn't get any further to the right. Newman was there.
I gotta say, this strategy was looking as if it was going to work out incredible for the Fords because they had made up so much time being in a large
fucking Christopher, I swear to God.
Here's Daniel Suarez.
Alright, it's Daniel Suarez.
I got here when they were going down the backstretch, said they were going in that time. Come on, man, we have to prove the communication. I don't think they were going to beat.
I mean, I think he's, a little frustrated and rightfully so, but at the same time, I don't know if there's a lot he would have done different. Maybe he would have checked up and gotten in behind the 6 of Newman, but right here, he as the 2 of Keselowski starts to slow down. Yeah, he goes to the outside, but he would have done that kind of anyway. I just feel like maybe he thinks that he could have avoided that contact to the 12 of Ryan Blaney had he known they were all pitting.
2 cars stayed on the racetrack. You saw Ryan Newman go by. So did rookie John Hunter Nemechek, who leads this race. The rest
I didn't know you could be more stupid than that. Daniel Suarez, you've already been fucking racing for a season. Come on.
You made when you were pitting, but we've seen where strategies become so important in holding on to those cards that we've seen where they have sort of a code of when they're going to come to pit road. So I just wonder, maybe some of those drivers were not putting their hands out the window to signal to Daniel Suarez.
Don't know.
Damage to Ryan Blaney's car, and Suarez has already walked away from his car. They're going to load up.
Always, like, when I see a wreck, it has to be one of the drivers I like. Either Johnson or Ryan Blaney. Like, so stupid. Ah, damn. I honestly want to punch the shit out of him right now. But I can't.
It's important to have a
Probably get
reliable
my
network.
ass
We all
whooped.
use it in different
Seeing
ways.
that what he did to Michael McDowell.
Someone's streaming sports, someone's video chatting her friends.
That's why
Either way,
Verizon
it's
has
still
plans to mix and
stupid.
match
There is
starting
no
at just
reason for that.
$35. And one of our best phones when you buy one. The network more people rely on gives you more.
My body is truly powerful.
I have the power to lower my blood sugar and A1C.
Because I can still make my own insulin. And Trulicity activates my body to release it, like it's supposed to.
Trulicity is for people with type 2 diabetes. It's not insulin. I take it once a week. It starts acting in my body from the first dose.
Trulicity isn't for people with type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis. Don't take Trulicity if you're allergic to it, you or your family have medullary thyroid cancer, or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2. Stop Trulicity and call your doctor right away if you have an allergic reaction, a lump or swelling in your neck, or severe stomach pain. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Taking Trulicity with a sulfonylurea or insulin increases low blood sugar risk. Side effects include nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, belly pain, and decreased appetite, which lead to dehydration and may worsen kidney problems.
I have it within me to lower my A1C.
Ask your doctor about Trulicity.
And all my people say, oh yeah. Now all my people say, I've been searching for it, waiting for my moment, looking at the sky for the color to change, watching for my time for the stars to align.
Win her heart with a Valentine that's anything but ordinary. Now save 20 to 50% on all fashion jewelry. Every kiss begins with K.
Please be the last commercial. Thank God. Okay, bring that bitch back. That hurts my brain. My brain hurts. Oh, my brain hurts. You guys can do me a favor, support my channel, I guess. Subscribe, leave a like, whatever. Just a thought. It's a request, not telling you to.
Tonight's aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Chase the possibilities. Unlock discovery at every turn. Goodyear, more driven. Under caution for a two-car crash as cars were entering pit road, Ryan Blaney and Daniel Suarez. Blaney repaired and continued. And Suarez out of race, and that means out of the Daytona 500. Working on sorting out whether pit road was open at the time some of those Ford drivers made those stops once the caution flag came out.
We've got John Hunter Nemechek and Ryan Newman who did not stop. But then those that did come to pit road, that caution came out. We're pretty sure a few of them were not on pit road when the caution came out and pit road was closed.
This car sputtering.
So he is holding up so they can get scoring straightened out here on the back straightaway. We're told he owes them a lap. He was not the race leader at that instant of caution, so we'll sort this out here in a minute as we listen to Denny Hamlin's radio.
Feels like I had a flat tire again. I'm sideways, and we're not really balance free in that scenario, or it feels like something's loose back there? A little bit of both. Like it feels like you got the sensation of movement in the back makes me feel loose. Yeah, got you.
That's never good.
No. All right, we're going to take a look at Joey Logano as he was coming to pit road and see when is the moment of caution. That's Eric Almirola in front of him, Clint Boyer in front of him. We're under green here.
You can see right there is that pit entry light. Right now it's green. Right there it goes red. So none of these drivers that hit pit road made it. I thought maybe one of them did, but none of them actually did.
So in this case, if you come down pit road, you must continue on without service in order to avoid a penalty. There's the red light on the right of your screen. And here comes everybody. So next question is, who got service after stopping too soon?
And at that point, as a driver, you see the red light, you know there's an incident, and you're committed. There's no way you can avoid coming onto pit road.
We have questions. Larry Mack has answers.
Yeah, Mike, of those 4 drivers, the ones that went ahead and completed service was Clint Boyer in the 14 and Chris Buescher in the 17. Their penalty should be tail end of the longest line. I think the ones that went ahead and drove down pit road and did not stop, they'll be fine. It's just Buescher and Boyer that will have to go to the tail end of the longest line.
Thanks, Larry. Let's check with Regan.
Well, certainly not the interview that we wanted to have this early at the Advent Healthcare Center. Daniel, talk me through what happened there. Obviously, the Ford cars were pitting and then contact between you and the 12.
Well, I would like to see a replay first, but really these guys... I mean, it's very simple. I mean, the 2 car, he started getting his hand out of the window super late, and I didn't see him. And when I started going out, the 12 was there. So I don't know, man. I'm getting tired of this.
Frustrating, I know. Better luck next week when we get to the next race. Thanks.
Well, you can hear right there the frustration. I mean, it's the Daytona 500. You know, he's had a lot of changes over the offseason. The last couple years haven't gone exactly the way he wanted to. He wanted to be in this Daytona 500 desperately. Not going to happen.
So Ryan Newman, John Hunter Nemechek, and the rest of those Fords will now come in to make their pit stops, along with most of the field. And this time we're getting tires under caution.
Now you really have nothing to lose. You might as well go ahead, put some fresh rubber on there, and maybe have a little bit better handling race car. Jamie?
And Denny Hamlin, you heard his radio saying something is definitely not right with the rear end of that car. It just feels really loose, especially when being pushed. So the call from Chris Gabehart, you see the guys going underneath the car in the rear end, seeing if they see anything that stands out. But he wanted to take 4 tires and fuel. May as well. See how the car handles with 4 tires. They gave him a drink. They're trying to get that. They're having problem with the window net right now.
Thanks, Jamie. We're hearing on Ryan Blaney's radio that he did not know the rest of the Fords were pitting, and that is likely what led to the confusion and this crash that has knocked Daniel Suarez out of the 500.
As parents of 6, this network is one less thing I have to worry about.
Why the Aceves family chose Verizon.
We all use our phones very differently.
These 2 are always gaming, and this one's always on FaceTime.
And my oldest is learning to be a pilot. We need a reliable network because I need to know he's safe. As soon as he lands, he knows he better call Mama.
Mama.
The network more people rely on gives you more. Like plans your family can mix and match starting at just $35. So everyone gets the plan they need and Apple Music on us. Plus iPhone 11 on us when you buy the latest iPhone. That's Verizon.
We made USAA insurance for veterans like Martin. When his wife retired, they buckled down and switched to USAA insurance for low rates and higher standards. USAA, what you're made of, we're made for.
Hey, buddy. Have a nice day.
Now purchase and get $2,000 bonus cash, or well-qualified lessees can lease the 2019 Jeep Wrangler for $281 a month.
The following is a list of snow day closings due to inclement weather. All two-wheel drive crossovers should close for the day. Wannabe SUVs should close for the day. Regular four-door sedans should close for the foreseeable future. All Jeep 4x4 vehicles will remain open, despite the harsh weather conditions.
Can't believe we've been behind today.
about communication? Here is Ryan Blaney's radio after that incident.
Everyone else on the bottom pitted, so they knew what was going on. I guess I couldn't see hands, but we got to I got to get that to me somehow better. We didn't have it here in the box. Somehow we missed it. It didn't show up in our chat.
So the 4 teams using a group chat to communicate when they were going to pit, and Todd Gordon didn't have it.
And that's why you don't hear it on the radio, but that's also why that communication has to be flawless, or you can miss it and cause something like just happened as they tried to get to pit road. Back to green.
Martin Truex took the wave around to get back on the lead lap. 18 lead lap cars. Quinn Houff 1 lap down. Chad Fitchum, Joey Gase 2 laps down. Daniel Suarez in the garage, and Ricky Stenhouse back out front.
And you can see he did that same thing he did at the start of this race. Started in the outside lane, got ahead of Chase Elliott right down in front of him. But look at this huge push coming down on the outside with Joey Logano and Eric Almirola locking bumpers. Over 200 miles per hour. It's amazing how much of a surge you get in speed when you get locked together like those two just were.
Leader Logano.
Look how the momentum in that outside lane surged ahead and continues on. Little work now left to do for those guys on the inside lane to get back up there side by side with them.
Note the Stenhouse crew got that grill all cleaned off.
And also I think it's a good thing to note, the 12 car is still in this thing. They fixed the 12 of Ryan Blaney. Unfortunately, we're very unfortunate for Suarez to have the damage he did, but the 12 of Ryan Blaney still right in the thick of it.
Now those cars are locked into the Daytona 500. This is all about where they will start. They'll start according to their finish in these 2 duels.
Now this is making Brian Patty really nervous right now, because that 47 car of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. lead this race, which look at the speed that car has. All it took was a little bit of a push from behind by Chase Elliott. He goes straight to the front. Now they're 3 wide, a little bit further back. Rookie Christopher Bell on the outside is Austin Dillon, as well as Ryan Preece come through the middle. And now Denny Hamlin's going to leave out Christopher Bell and go to the middle also. But I got to believe you saw the car of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. wiggle a little bit. That's going to make the Polster pretty nervous. And now here's another battle for the lead.
On the outside, the Fords, Logano and Almirola. Stenhouse, a little breathing room there from Chase Elliott. Tries to side draft. Gain a little bit coming back to the line, but Logano will lead this lap by a car length.
And we saw where Chase Elliott gave a nice push to the 47 to Stenhouse to get him the lead, but it just doesn't look like he's able to stay as tight to that rear bumper like we're seeing Almirola right here, the rear bumper of Joey Logano. Look at the gap back to the 9 of Chase Elliott. Look how he can't get any closer to that. If you want that inside lane to move, those cars have to close up, and now the outside lane is starting to form very quickly.
Here goes Ryan Preece in 4th place on the outside. That is Stenhouse's teammate.
Austin Dillon moves down to that inside lane. Now, when I've got the car that I know is a fast race car, has led this race, and is going to be starting from the pole to see the green flag on Sunday for the Daytona 500, I am extremely nervous right now. Nice job by that inside lane.
A lot of jockeying. Chase might have gotten a big bump from Ryan Newman there.
And see how the 47 Stenhouse is able to get right to that rear bumper and surge this inside lane back to the front.
Jeff, what you can learn in this duel, you can't learn in practice Friday and Saturday, can you?
I mean, the conditions are a little bit different. We're going to see the Daytona 500 because this is at night. The track is cooler, but you have to get in these conditions. You're never going to see anything like this in practice because you'll never have a group of cars that are this committed to it as well as stacked up like this.
And that's why Ricky Stenhouse, the 500 pole sitter, is still out there. If I were Brian Patty, if I'm not out front, I want that car in the garage.
Well, I mean, if he can get through this, he's going to learn so much about the Daytona 500, what he has to do to be able to keep that car out front. Pretty impressed with what Austin Dillon has done in that inside lane to pull some of those Chevrolets behind him to the front and break up that outside lane.
Well, 3 Chevys at the front, and as far as the push me, pull you of bump drafting, don't seem to be any of the issues that we saw with last year's car.
It's still clear.
Pretty nice job of them moving to that outside lane, pick up the 22. Now, yeah, we've talked about those front bumpers. Right now, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. having no problems. You can see it's a little bit more rounded. It's not as pointed as the car that they had in 2019. And that's allowing these guys to be a little more aggressive with the pushing.
Ford's on the bottom now. Logano,
This is some pretty good racing right here. Question is, will they stay like this the whole time, or will they
right with them.
wreck?
You see Stenhouse. I love how aggressive he's being with this car because he's down there side drafting. He's getting to the rear bumper of the 3 of Austin Dillon, pushing him. Now, I think one of the reasons why Stenhouse is doing that, not only is he trying to fill out the car in the draft right now, he does not want to get any further back in this field. He really wants to stay up front. That's what's going to keep him in this race. Denny Hamlin making a pretty aggressive move to the inside. I thought that we were going to see contact between the 9 of Chase Elliott and Denny, but Denny just squeezed right into a gap that really wasn't there.
15 laps to go in the first of 2 duels.
I don't know about you, but this race has been far more intense and more action than I anticipated. I really thought these guys were going to take it easy.
Jeff, you and I have been listening to it all day. Oh, after Sunday night, they're just going to go out there and ride around single file. Not a chance. With an outside lane led by Hamlin backed way up in that back straightaway. Not sure what might have happened coming off turn number 2, but Hamlin's dropped back to 11th.
Yeah, now it's a numbers game. Now, you look how many cars are lined up on that inside lane versus how many are in the outside lane. You've got 4 cars. No way 4 cars are going to be able to find their way all the way to the front of this. They need more cars to get in line with them.
Larry, what about Ricky Stenhouse in 7th?
Well, what's impressive about Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in that 47 car, Mike, remember, the Chevrolet teams and the Toyota teams came to pit road under green, and they all did fuel only. When that caution came out, everybody but Stenhouse in the 47, Chase Elliott in the 9, Truex in the 19, everybody else came and got 4 fresh tires. He's out there on 30 lap more tires than anybody else.
Wow. Bubba Wallace looking like Pac-Man trying to chomp his way through the field here.
Well, there was a move by the 3 car. Remember, there's a bit of an alliance there between Richard Petty Motorsports and Richard Childress Racing. And the 3 car of Austin Dillon went to the outside. I think Bubba tried to get up either in front of him or with them, and he just wasn't able to get there fast enough, and those cars started getting, the 11 of Denny Hamlin got to his outside.
How about the rookie, John Hunter Nemechek, in the 38, right? Leading that second group on the inside. Boy, if he had butterflies when this started, how about now?
Well, now he's in the groove. Now what he's in focus mode. He's got a feel for how the cars are driving.
Bottom,
He's
like, top is
you know
starting.
what? I got a good race car here. I can do this. Let's go learn something.
It looks like nighttime, the bottom's faster, but daytime.
Great job for front row there in 8th place.
For those lead cars, Mike, that are in line on the bottom, except for Denny Hamlin, we know he never takes a breath. He always makes a bold move, just like he did right there. But those other guys, this is a time to take a breath. Get a feel for your car. What's the balance like? How can I materialize a run? They're trying to set themselves up for what's going to happen with a few laps to go in this race, because I promise you, they're not going to just sit there in line.
Look who has quietly climbed the ladder to 4th place, Brad Keselowski, in the deuce.
It's been a bit of a tough beginning to speed weeks. We've seen already some frustration you wouldn't normally see out of Brad Keselowski like we saw in the Clash. So this is a nice, solid run for Brad, and this is exactly what he's looking for to get himself ready, not only for the finish of this race, but for Sunday's Daytona 500.
Ford's in 1st through 6th as they come around for 10 to go.
starts trying to get moving again. But will they be able to prevail?
That sounds like a nice round number. How about a nice round Fox? Crank it up.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they are moving now. Holy crap. That top side is moving. Something's gonna happen. Denny Hamlin back to back again. Feels bad. Oh yeah, that bottom just kind of died. Playing with his damage sucks. And you know, we're trying something, he's gonna get pushed back again.
16 cars separated by less than a second, and Denny Hamlin wants to be the straw that stirs this drink.
I love the fact that Denny Hamlin just never settles. You know, unless he's out front leading, he is going to make a move. Watch Denny Hamlin as he closes up right here to the rear bumper of the 43. Now he's going to go to the inside and make it 3 wide.
That was just not smart.
You know, what I see Denny does so well is you see a big moment behind him in Austin Dillon, but Denny, when he gets a run, he just lets that momentum ride and just takes it as far as it'll go.
7 to go this time by. At 200 miles an hour. Remember our Fox football field, 100 yards on the tri-oval?
I do.
How long does it take to traverse 100 yards at 200 miles an hour?
I'd say about a second.
Football field a second.
That's fast. That's real fast. Puts a lot of things in perspective. And these guys are wheeling this thing. I mean, you saw all the bump drafting going on all at 200 miles per hour.
Now on the inside, Reed Sorensen just got lapped. He is in the race in position. Now Chad Fincham is 2 laps down. See if Sorensen can maintain pace in that 27 and race his way into the Daytona 500.
I don't want him to.
He's got quite a field bearing down on him. Pretty nice group starting to form. I mean, those are 3 really strong race cars. You got Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Denny Hamlin, and Chase Elliott. I still think the numbers are with the outside. They need a couple more cars. I think they have fast enough cars they can work tightly in a group and get a couple more cars. They'll make some ground. You saw right there.
I've never said this before. Ooh, never mind. I can say I want Ricky Stenhouse to win. Nah, he about Ricky.
Little side drafting.
Okay. And my stuff does this again.
Can't poop on the floor.
Okay.
Just letting you know.
Okay. Let's do this. I don't want to watch a race. It just does this. Watch live, yes.
Well, they got
to go. 5 to go.
One more to join him and Christopher Bell.
Now 1 off the 11. 11, 2 back. 2 back. Got the 9 half off of him. 95 pushing the 9. 11 coming back to you. Half. Half rolling to you. On you tight.
Oh, that's going to get them quite a ways further up to that 22 of Joey Logano. Look at that push. That's all it takes. One push like that from Denny Hamlin.
Joey Logano, don't do it. Don't do a stupid block. I swear to God.
Spotter Frank Daney Jr. For Ricky Stenhouse, crew chief Brian Patty on the box, watching his pole-sitting 500 driver. Said he was going to try to lead every lap and win this.
Well, now he's just trying to lead the right one, which is going to be the last one here in about 4 laps. And we've seen a couple more cars have joined that inside lane.
Holy crap. That was a pretty good run by him.
Which lane do you like?
Well, I still like, if I'm Joey Logano, I'm feeling pretty comfortable. I got a good pusher in Eric Almirola, and I've got the most cars behind me. What do you think, Jamie? That inside lane's got, what, 4 or 5 cars?
I want to be in whatever lane Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s in right now because his car is really fast. I think that, look, I think that Eric Almirola is going to stick with the 22, so I'm going to take the outside lane.
4 to go.
Three to go, dum-dum.
And around the speedway, the drivers who will compete in the second duel, watching this carefully. See if it's a precursor of what's to come.
Yeah, right now, if they're talking as a group of drivers, they're going, hey, guys, how about we go get in line? Because that looked a little hairy. And it's been fun for us to watch.
Another aggressive push.
And another aggressive side draft by the 22 of Joey Logano.
Oh, he's gonna... Holy crap, this might be a really good finish.
2 to go. And you've got Stenhouse and Logano. Irresistible force, an immovable object, and then you got Hamlin right in it.
Yeah, I mean, these are probably 3 of the most aggressive drivers on the super speedways. Now you got Stenhouse breaks free of this. He could pick which lane he wants to try to block, but he really likes Denny Hamlin as a pusher and doesn't move up to try to block that 22.
I don't know if I would trust the 11, honestly. I'm a little scared. Oh boy, here we go. Oh no, the bottom lane, or the top lane is starting to...
Starter has the white flag in hand. 1 lap to go.
It's starting to mess up, but I think it's going to come back. Let's see who's going to get it.
Stenhouse, no help now.
White flag in the air.
Broke up a little bit. A couple of cars went 3 wide further back, and you can see
Logano's going to get it.
Immediately to that outside lane.
And that may be the difference. Almirola stayed with Logano, while Stenhouse came all the way through
Come on, Almirola, you need to get
back
this.
to turn 1 with no help.
This huge run coming from Ryan Newman. Is he going to do anything with it, or is he just going to get to the rear bumper of the 10 of Almirola?
Oh.
No, he just gets to the rear bumper. Now a big run's going to come from Almirola. There goes Newman to the outside. And where did Austin Dillon come from on the inside?
Who's going to get it?
Turn 4 for the final time.
Dang it, Joey Logano's going to get it.
To win his duel at Daytona by 3 car lengths.
And what a save by Austin Dillon that almost took out a bunch of race cars.
Dang it, I did not want him to win.
2 years in a row, Joey Logano wins his duel. There's his new crew chief, Paul Wolf. Logano led 19 laps to give Team Penske their 5th duel win. 1 in each of the last 3 seasons. And Ford has now won 4 of the last 5 duels. Well, Ricky Stenhouse got out of town
on to the next one, I guess.
On this final lap. Let's watch it unfold.
You can see all this unfold coming down the back straight with his 6 of Newman, gets to the rear bumper of the 10, then he goes to the outside. And when he does that, it really gives Joey Logano the race. Those 2 get side by side and stall out. Now it's about these guys further back, just trying to get themselves positioned to get as good a position or starting position for the 500. Look at Bubba Wallace on the inside, getting a nice top 5.
And Keselowski finds a good spot there in 4th. Ahead of Bubba Wallace.
I wonder if that inside didn't break apart. That'd be really nice.
And Stenhouse
side
in
by
the
side
middle
finish.
of all that mess.
Without a mark on his car.
and now he's able to breathe, or at least Brian Patty is.
Yes. Where's Stenhouse? There he goes. Way on the inside, 3 wide. 15 cars covered by 3/4 of a second at the checkered flag. And your Duel 1 winner, after having a rough night in the Busch Clash, Joey Logano.
If you need lumber wood, Lonnie's is better than good. We also
Be
have
right
the
back,
best
guys. We're gonna
selection
watch
of
the commercials.
plywood in the state. Hey! Dang, woodchucks, stop chucking that wood.
Geico Sequels. The savings keep on going.
It's important to have a reliable network. We all use it in different ways.
Everyone in your family is different.
Someone's streaming sports, someone's video chatting her friends.
That's why Verizon has plans to mix and match starting at just $35. And one of our best phones when you buy one. The network more people rely on gives you more.
The following is a list of snow day closings. All two-wheel drive crossovers and wannabe SUVs should close for the foreseeable future. All cheap 4x4 vehicles will remain open, despite the harsh weather conditions.
And all my people say, oh yeah!
Win her heart with an extraordinary Valentine. Now save 20 to 50% on all fashion jewelry. Every kiss begins with K.
When a pickup game becomes a game of pick me up.
3, 2, 1. Oh, nice.
That's when a house becomes home.
Okay.
Rocket Mortgage. Push button, get mortgage.
Alright, we are back. Mostly red. And I got another war hit that won't open. Oh boy. Is it not? I pushed it. I guess not. Here we go.
Joey Logano taking a breather before he climbs out in victory lane. Let's have another look at this finish and watch Austin Dillon in the 3.
Yeah, look at his windshield. He's got white gloves as he comes around this 4th turn. The 43 gets to his inside, and that was almost a huge wreck. Excellent job of him keeping that car going straight, and then great job to Bubba. He did check up, stayed in the gas.
Joey Logano gets to celebrate his dual win. Here's Jamie.
And Joey Logano, a controversial crash last weekend, and talking about it all week. You have a different crew chief, a different pit crew. How awesome is it for you to get to victory lane on Daytona 500 weekend?
Feels so good. It's it's obviously it's the duel. It's not the Daytona 500, but momentum is momentum, and TJ does such a great job up on the roof and understanding the draft, and then working with this new group here. They're not new to working together, but I'm new with them, and it's just been a good partnership so far. It's been pretty seamless, and working out some of the kinks last week and being able to come to victory lane here in Daytona. Winning anything in Daytona is just such a big deal. So. And we're just ready to go for the 500. Just can't thank Ford enough. Eric Almirola, can't thank him enough. Boy, what a great push that he was giving me throughout the run, and a great partner out there to work with. So it was awesome. So excited that NASCAR's partnered with Coca-Cola and Xfinity. Man, it's just such a great spot for our sport right now. So I'm excited to be a part of it, and excited to run for a championship this year.
That race was any indication for Sunday. We're going to have a great race. Regan?
Well, Joey Logano just alluded to that push that he got from Eric Almirola. We don't give assists in our sport, but if we did, you certainly would get one tonight.
Yeah, I hope I don't get an assist on Sunday. I think things would play out a little differently on Sunday, but solid night for all the Fords. Yeah, you could see us working really well together. I was pretty committed to Joey. Our cars lined up really well together, and we were making some hay when we would get attached. So that was good. It was fun, and our Smithfield Ford Mustang is so fast, man. I'm glad we didn't wreck this one, and we get to take it to the Daytona 500 because it's a really good race car. So just proud of Mike Booger-Ravish and all the guys on our race team, and just a great way to kick off Speed Weeks, and all of our partners, Smithfield, Ford, and Roush Yates Engines. Man, the Fords are really, really strong. So just excited and ready to go for the Daytona 500.
Good luck on Sunday, Eric.
4 drivers from 3 different Ford teams take the first 4 positions in Duel 1, led by Joey Logano.
The sun is rising as the day begins. Time for reflecting on family and friends.
Dang woodchucks.
Geico Sequels. The savings keep
Dang
on
wood
going.
rugs.
Verizon 4G, T-Mobile 5G. Which do you think will be faster?
I would imagine 5G. I'm assuming 5G is faster.
Because it's a higher number. Do you want to see for real? Yes. These are normal fingers. You want to test them out? And here we go. Look what it's doing! Verizon 4G is faster than T-Mobile's 5G in New York City. It's sort of a heartbreak in a way. T-Mobile's so much slower, but they have a higher number.
Gotta feel bad for them a little.
Yeah.
The following is a list of snow day closings. All two-wheel drive crossovers and wannabe SUVs should close for the foreseeable future. All Jeep 4x4 vehicles will remain open, despite the harsh weather conditions.
And all my people say, oh yeah. Now all my people say, searching for it, waiting for my moment, looking at the sky for the color to change, watching for my time for the stars to align.
Win her heart with a Valentine that's anything but ordinary. Now save 20 to 50% on all fashion jewelry. Every kiss begins with K.
Every kiss begins with nothing. Because it's a sad life. Okay. Oop. Every kiss begins with a thing in your hand. And a kiss like proposing to someone. Something special. Like maybe when you be the girlfriends you guys kiss. There we go. Take a while.
Welcome back to the Blue-Green Vacations Duel on FS1. Joey Logano has earned the inside of the second row for Sunday's Daytona 500 with his win in the duel. But he is no happier than a driver who now knows he's going to be in the 500. Regan.
Well, Reed Sorensen will now start the Daytona 500. Reed, for a small team, how big of a deal is this?
It's a huge deal. Just proud of all these guys at Premium Motorsports for putting this car together. They've been nervous for a couple weeks now. A lot of work gets put into these things. So proud of them that we made the race. And this kind of gets the ball rolling, like you said, for a small race team. So got a pretty blue car, and maybe we can put some decals on it now with sponsors. So just really happy to be in the 500. And, you know, everything that happens from this point's icing on the cake. So we're going to try to go have fun and drive hard on Sunday.
So Justin Haley races his way in. Reed Sorensen gets in on time. Well, that's duel one. There are still 21 drivers to go in duel two, including this guy.
He's gonna be the only.
Verizon 4G,
only,
T-Mobile 5G.
Toyota.
Which do you think will be faster?
I would imagine 5G. I'm assuming 5G is faster.
Because it's a higher number. Do you want to see for real? Yes. These are normal fingers. You want to test them out? And here we go. Look what it's doing! Verizon 4G is faster
No, I'm not even.
than
I'm done.
T-Mobile's 5G in New York City. It's sort of a heartbreak in a way. T-Mobile's so much slower, but they have a higher number.
Gotta feel bad for them a little.
Yeah.
No matter how much life pushes us around, she keeps us centered. Introducing the Center of Me collection. Because every Your Love Keeps Me Centered begins with K.
I signed up because I was curious. I learned about my grandfather's life on Ancestry, and it was a remarkable 20th century transformation. He did a lot of living before I knew him.
Bring your family history to life like never before. Get started for free at Ancestry.com.
I'm sorry.
Hop in. Oh, no! Mondays, right?
Get in, Brian. Thanks, Mom. Go wherever they need you. The all-new Highlander. Toyota. Let's go places.
Wherever they need you. so long? I don't know why it takes so long to get the commercials rolling. You piece of crap. You piece of crap. You piece of crap. Piece of crap. Piece of crap. Now. No, right? Now. No. Now. Now. Ooh, that was spicy.
Hi everyone, welcome into our Race Hub studios. I'm Shannon Spake, 2010 Daytona 500 winner Jamie McMurray, and two-time crew chief winning of this race, the Daytona 500, Larry McReynolds. You know, the last couple days, ever since we saw the clash and all the stuff that happened in that race, we've been wondering how these guys were going to approach the duels and what we were going to see, and now we know. What stood out to you?
Well, we assumed that after what we saw on Sunday that everybody was going to be pretty calm today, but man, lap one, Denny Hamlin pushing Chase Elliott down the backstretch, and they were pretty aggressive throughout the entire race. I was shocked by that. I was thankful that Stenhouse made it to the end. He was almost involved in a wreck right there on the last lap, but man, what an exciting race, and you know, kudos to Joey Logano to win that first duel.
Yeah, I think after Sunday we were talking about the speed of the Chevrolets, and rightly so. We were talking about the speeds of the Toyotas, but boy, did the Fords rear their head right there. Now, they did have 8 strong Fords in that race. Those guys hooked up there under that green flag run. They came to pit road together. It didn't work out that well for Ryan Blaney, and it was all said and done. This has kind of been the history of the duels over the last couple of years. Fords finished 1, 2, 3, 4, so the Fords are strong.
The Fords were strong, but I think the fastest car is Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
No
we were talking about that, like, man, his lane would go back and he could surge back forward, so that was pretty impressive to see how quick that car was.
That's also
Ricky,
help
I mean, he
of
knows
other
where he's
people,
starting
so.
the Daytona 500. It will be on the pole. He went out there, led the most laps, finished 8th on the evening. Let's check in with him. Regan Smith is standing by with Ricky.
Well, conventional wisdom would say to take the car that's going to start on the pole for the Daytona 500 and get to the back of the pack. Not Ricky Stenhouse. You raced hard all night long.
Yeah, our Kroger Camaro Z01 1LE was really fast. Thought we put ourselves in great position for a win there, and you know, it was good to get myself in different positions. I felt like we could push really well. I felt like I got pushed, you know, pretty solid. You know, I thought we did everything we needed to do. It looked like the 11 just couldn't hang on right there at the end. He got me clear, and I thought about moving up,
That's
but
really
you know, we worked so well together on the bottom that I tried to stick with it. And, you know, obviously cost us a chance at a win there, but all in all, we learned a lot. I think we know exactly what we need to do going into Friday, Saturday practice to get ready for the 500. And you know, it was a good first day. I got a new spotter, Frank Denny, up on the roof, and we worked really well together. As you know, so a lot of new pieces that I'm glad that we were able to come out here, race hard, and get a few points, and feel really good going into Sunday.
We saw the conversation between you and Denny. What was that about? It looked like maybe a little hand gestures there for a minute.
No, he was just like, hey, I wanted you to go high when I got you clear, because he said he was pretty loose and just couldn't keep up with me through the corners. And so I was working hard, side draft down the straightaway, trying to get, you know, the 11 to pull back to us and slow the top lane. And he said he just wasn't able to hold on as good. So I felt really good, you know, racing those guys. We had old tires and, you know, ran the same set all race and still felt maneuverable. So I'm happy about that.
I can't wait to get this next one started.
All right, thank
Hopefully
you,
it's like the
Regan.
same.
One race down, one race to go down there at Daytona. Check out that shot right there. 21 drivers are getting ready to climb in their
that was
cars
a
and
little bit of
attack
a weird,
another dual race to figure out where
glitch.
they'll start in the Daytona 500. We'll
Okay,
be
we're
right back
getting
here
them
on
all pulled out
FS1.
now.
As parents of 6, this network is one less thing I have to worry about.
Why the Aceves family chose Verizon.
We all use our phones very differently.
These two are always gaming, and this one's always on FaceTime.
And my oldest is learning to be a pilot. We need a reliable network because I need to know he's safe. As soon as he lands, he knows he better call Mama.
Mama.
The network more people rely on gives you more. Like plans your family can mix and match starting at just $35. So everyone gets the plan they need and Apple Music on us. Plus iPhone 11 on us when you buy the latest iPhone. That's Verizon.
No matter
If you guys
how
just see what
much
I'm
life
seeing, this
pushes
is
us
like
around,
bullcrap.
she keeps
There's
us
a warhead.
centered.
And you don't
Introducing
have like
the
little
Center
things
of
that I
Me
can
collection.
open them with.
Because
and that's
every
annoying.
your love keeps me
Like
centered.
little
begins
jagged
with A.
pinches. So you'd open them.
Hi, Samantha. You look more like a Heather. You ever
They're,
get that?
You're Pete Nokia?
That was actually a professional headshot. Oh. Wait,
He
you
says,
don't
"Oh."
know.
Geico Sequels.
You done
The
screwed up.
savings keep on going.
I wrote
It's
this
the same
a long
commercial,
time ago.
but sometimes
I don't
they're
know
just
how old
fun.
it was. I hope someday I will be on a real football team.
I'm Katie Sowers, offensive assistant coach for the San Francisco 49ers.
Whoa, hold it.
I'm not just here to be the token female, I'm here to help us win. The Surface Pro helps me get what's in my head and get it out onto the field.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
I would want to tell this little girl to keep pushing yourself. Your dream's coming.
Let's go. Let's run it again. Run it again. Let's go.
We made USAA insurance for veterans like Kate. When she got a new car for bigger projects, she quickly updated her policy on the USAA app and said, done. USAA, what you're made of, we're made for.
Alright, almost. Almost time, guys. Be a little patient. Probably should tell people to be patient. But be patient. Yeah. Ugh, this is disgusting. What's going on? One. I'm just gonna call you one, yeah. Is it one? Is it one? Which one I'm saying that? Which one is it?
This is a race.
Wait, what's going on, dude?
Even though it's at night, it's still incredibly important to learn something from this race.
Getting ready for second duel.
The Daytona 500.
I'll bring my thingy up. I do apologize for the noise.
Big night to shine.
Here we go.
Back here in the Race Hub studios, Shannon, Larry, and Jamie getting you ready for the duel number 2 out there at Daytona International Speedway. We got a couple of guys that we're keeping our eyes on in this race. One person that stands out to you is who?
Well, I'm going to be watching that 18 car of Kyle Busch. You know, he's starting up near the front. He's going to start third. He's won the dual race 3 times before. About the only thing he has never won at Daytona is the Daytona 500. He even won an ARCA Menard Series race a number of years ago there.
Yeah, I'm going to keep my eye on Kevin Harvick. He's won the Daytona 500 before. He's won two of the dual races. He's just such a good super speedway racer. He actually won one of the duels last year, so yeah, he'll definitely be a contender.
What do you guys think about Matty D, right? He's such a fan favorite. He led so many laps in the Daytona 500 last season. Of course, now he's with the Wood Brothers.
Well, not only did he lead the most laps last year, that 21 car of the Wood Brothers, they always bring a fast race car to Daytona. Of course, they won it back in 2011 with Trevor Bayne, so I'm anxious to see how they run this dual race tonight, and then that'll tell us a lot more about Sunday.
Well, and it's a really
That'd be pretty cool to have another 21 car win.
With crew chief and team.
Daytona 500, but I also want Johnson and Ron Blaney to win because favorite cars, favorite drivers.
So this is a big race for Matt DiBenedetto, just
how
to
it
kind of get his bearings and get comfortable with his new team.
Do you think there's pressure on him just because of all of the spotlight that's kind of been following him?
I think without a doubt. I mean, it's the biggest opportunity of his career, and he knows that, and he wants to make the most of it, so absolutely there's going to be some pressure on him.
I always like being in the second duel all my years as a crew chief because, again, especially now since they have not been on the racetrack realistically since Saturday, it kind of let me get a lay of the land. What strategy the teams were going with? What did the racetrack, what was it like? How did these cars handle? So I always kind of like being in that second duel.
We have a lot in common, but I always wanted to be in the first.
Yeah, and Jamie, you were saying that the guys that were sitting back there were like, there wasn't a big wreck.
There's not a wreck in the first one. You're like, oh, I'm in the second one, and there most likely will be.
Oh my goodness. Well, we hope everything stays clean out there for the second duel. We're getting closer and
No,
closer
I
for
really
those
hope
guys
it's
to climb
not.
into their cars, start
I want big
engines, and get
wrecks.
the second duel started. 21 more drivers will know where they're going to start the Daytona 500 this Sunday. That guy knows already on the front row. We'll be right back here on FS1.
Come here. What's going on, my boy?
Paul,
Ninja
I am
Johnson.
loving the all-new dual camera system with ultra-wide on iPhone 11.
And I love how it's Sprint.
You can get the amazing iPhone 11 for $0 a month when you trade in your iPhone 6s or newer.
In any condition.
Seriously, in any condition.
And because Sprint likes to do things differently, they're offering a 100% total satisfaction guarantee. While I think their network and savings are great, you don't just have to take my word for it. Try it out and see the savings for yourself.
Now that's a picture-perfect deal.
The first one was Joey Logano, sadly. That's my opinion, though.
Flyers again?
Don't get mad about my opinion about not liking Joey Logano.
Over to over 75 years of savings and service.
Well, we're just going to swap over?
Yep, pump the brakes on this, swap it over to that.
What, instead of all this I've already...
Yeah.
Geico. John Tyson's motto was, when better chickens are hatched, we will hatch them. It's why all of the Tyson chicken that bears his name is raised with no antibiotics ever. Every nugget, strip, and drumstick. Keep it real. Keep it Tyson.
That's my nacho.
That's my nacho.
Those were decorative.
Finally, delicious nachos you don't have to fight over. Come together with the new Nachos Party Pack from Taco Bell.
I wrote this a long time ago. I don't know how old I was. I hope someday I will be on a real football team. I'm Katie Sowers, offensive assistant coach for the San Francisco 49ers.
Whoa, hold it.
I'm not just here to be the token female. I'm here to help us win. The Surface Pro helps me get what's in my head and get it out onto the field.
If you guys can, show me a little support and give a like and maybe subscribe to the channel. Might be a lot of not to ask, but if you guys can just do that real quick, that'd be awesome. Help me a lot. I don't only just do these type of things. I'm not always selling out like this. I do NASCAR Heat 4 videos. I'm in a league, Giggity Racing League. You guys might have heard it, probably not. Either way, if you guys want to see stuff like that and more of these races, then subscribe. That'd be pretty nice. I would really appreciate that. iRacing. Hey.
After a huge debut weekend, the sports world is buzzing about the XFL, and this week should be even better when Tampa Bay takes on Seattle. Saturday at 5 Eastern on Fox, followed by St. Louis versus Houston Sunday at 6 Eastern on FS1. Or, of course, you can catch all the action on the Fox Sports app. Still got some football, so...
Nope, here we go. My thing's doing this again. I have to... It keeps signing out. I don't know why. Stop signing out. Get back into it. Ooh, I'm gonna have an aneurysm over this crap, I swear. No, stop it. I just signed in. Oh, I'm gonna punch this TV. Watch live. Here we go.
Gentlemen,
perfect timing.
Fire up them horses.
He looks so happy too.
That was great. He's giving you a run for your money there.
Fire up them horses, man.
I love it. That's the first time I've heard a whistle out there for commands to start engines. I'm sure the drivers inside the cars loved it too.
Already to 40. Hang on, let's go. Thank you guys. 40 subs, it does help me a lot.
What did we decide on the Flyers again?
Oh my
15
god.
minutes could save you 15% or more on cars.
NASCAR is such a sellout.
Swap over to over 75 years of savings.
And just commercial after commercial after commercial.
Pump the brakes on this.
You guys can talk a little bit more. I bet what they do is they just keep talking and talking about what they're going to talk about next.
All two-wheel drive crossovers should close for the day.
God, that's annoying.
SUVs should close for the day. Regular four-door sedans should close for the foreseeable future.
25 viewers, holy crap.
All cheap 4x4 vehicles will remain open.
Apparently, broadcasting NASCAR races does a lot for your channel. Who would have known?
Verizon 4G, T-Mobile 5G. Which do you think will be faster?
I would imagine 5G. I'm assuming 5G is faster.
I think what I'm going to do from now on, every time a commercial comes on, I'm going to sell out.
Yes. These are normal fingers. You want to test them out? And here we go.
So, do it first. You guys subscribe.
Is faster than T-Mobile.
I'm not asking. I'm telling you, subscribe right now.
T-Mobile's so much slower, but they have a higher number.
Gotta feel bad for them.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, guys. It'd be nice if you guys could.
Oh yeah.
Win her heart with an extraordinary Valentine. Now save 20 to 50% on all fashion jewelry. Every kiss begins with K.
Alright. We're about to get dual racing. Why can't we have triples? Not duels. Wait. Dual. What do we call triple? If there was 4? For Duel 1, my driver was Ryan Blaney. Duel 2 is going to be Jimmy Johnson. And don't be like, oh, no, you're going for him because this last season. No, I've been a fan of him since I was little, so don't even pull that crap. Pulling that crap is not fun. Alright, maybe if it would come back sometimes. There we go.
The second duel.
It's going to be an item, beating and banging and roughing them up. Oh, heck yeah. This is going to be fun. Drivers, start your engine!
Strap in, cause it's gonna be a long ride. Working on me every single day and night.
And I bet this is the one here that's gonna copyright me as this song.
If it's holding you back, push it right to the side.
Trouble, car hard in the wall.
Ooh.
My goodness. Just wild, it's crazy.
Ah, I remember that. That was last year.
And here they come to the line. Kevin Harvick has his second victory in the duel.
Yeah!
Welcome back to Daytona and
Jimmy
Duel
Johnson.
2.
I love that car. I love how it is now.
Duel at Daytona on FS1. So this race will set the outside line as they come to the green for the 62nd Daytona 500 on Fox this Sunday. And for Duel Race 1, for all the talk around the garage area and at the lunch tables about, well, they're just going to go single file after last Sunday night. Didn't happen, thank goodness. Great race.
That was a pleasant surprise and an exciting race. Everything that I anticipated was going to happen didn't happen at all. I expected Ricky Stenhouse Jr., if he got shuffled back, he's going to keep all the fenders on that car. I did not expect to see as much bumping and banging, and I also thought they were going to pit earlier, and then I thought for sure they're going to wreck a bunch of cars coming off of turn 4 to get the checkered flag. None of that happened. Now, what are these drivers going to do in Duel 2?
No, that's my question. Since we didn't know anything about it.
Do exactly what those guys did. That was awesome.
Not exactly. Maybe.
All right.
Wreck more cars besides Johnson. Every car can wreck except Johnson.
Alex Bowman, 3 straight years starting a duel.
I guess Alex Bowman because I don't really want him to get pushed all the way to the back because, you know, yeah. Not really
Kyle
cool.
Busch with 3 duel wins and William Byron, who led his duel for 15 laps last year. Eric Jones, he's our
But it is good that Johnson's starting on second row.
And you saw in the highlight Kevin Harvick, who won his duel last year.
And one of our rookies in row 4, Cole Custer, in his first duel start alongside Matt DiBenedetto, who finished his duel last year in 4th place in first race with the Wood brothers. In row 5, Tyler Reddick, another rookie. He actually ran the Daytona 500 a year ago and finished 13th in his duel a year ago. Kyle Larson on the outside of him. Hard to believe this yet to lead a lap or finish in the top 5 in the duel at Daytona.
Kurt Busch, 2011 duel winner, and Michael McDowell, top 10 finishes in his last 2 500s. David Reagan in a one-off drive, 2-time super speedway winner in NASCAR. And Ross Chastain, top 10 in last year's 500. Ty Dillon's finished top 10 in his last 3 Daytona starts. Brendan Gaughan, who's locked into what he says is his final Daytona 500 at age 44 on time. Timmy Hill's going to try to race his way in, along with Corey LaJoie. J.J. Yaley has to race in. That's his only shot to make the 500. Brennan Poole in his first Cup start, and B.J. McLeod.
Yeah, I think they'll go next time by, not this time by. Next time.
Talked to Eric Jones last night.
I think there's more heat in the track. This should be a better race.
Still laughing about this one. And they took a picture, a team picture in Victory Lane, comparing his Victory Lane with Terry Labonte's at Bristol back in 1995. Now, you expect that kind of I mean, Bristol's a meat grinder. You expect that kind of carnage at Bristol.
Well, you certainly
Not
don't
so much
expect
here.
a guy to bring that car home in victory lane at Daytona, but let's dial him up. Eric Jones, Jeff Gordon up in the Fox Sports booth. You got me?
See, I like the new car that they brought out for this season. It's same,
Hey,
but it's
Eric,
different.
This is Jeff up in the Fox Sports booth. You got me,
Nice.
buddy? Well, that might be the same radio from the class. Let's try him on this second radio we got.
Keep it on here. Clean night.
I think that sounds like him. Hey, Eric, this is Jeff up in the Fox Sports booth. You got me?
I got you.
All right, there you are. Hey, man, what a wild clash on Sunday. Great job winning that race, but you came home with a destroyed race car. Can't afford to do that with this car. This is your Daytona 500 car, so, how much risk are you willing to take in this race to try to bring it home first?
Yeah, hopefully it's a different result and a different looking car. I mean, you gotta
All right, guys. Let's get buckled up and get ready to go racing for 60 laps, wasn't it? Yeah, I think it's 60 laps. And before we do go green, we can get a people will call it like spike. I'm calling it a subscribe spike. I just need people to subscribe to my channel. Shit, I am desperate. I am El Desperado, as I would say.
All right, just as we have a different group of drivers on the track, we have a different crew on pit road. Here's Matt Yoakum.
Well, Mike, Brendan Gaughan is locked in on time for the Great American Race, but tonight he'll be both dream maker and breaker for Timmy Hill and J.J. Yaley. Now, if Gaughan races his way in, then Hill makes it in on time. But if he drops to the back, then the highest
actually, I might have to go for Brendan Gaughan now because the guy racing that I also do live stream on. Subscribe so you guys can watch those races every time I have them. I was the 62 Brendan Gaughan last season a little bit, so let's see what happens.
And that's bring that 42 home undamaged. They don't want any damage to this Daytona 500 car because he believes that'll give him the best shot to win on Sunday, and that's what counts most. Larry?
My favorite, I think all time, it's really hard to tell because I have two favorites. I have Johnson, Ryan Blaney. I think I'm gonna have to go with my childhood favorite, Johnson. So yeah, and sadly it is his last season. So let's see if he can get it done this season and get a one last time, getting himself a trophy. At least get a win, come on. He needs a win.
This year with Joey Logano, the winner of Duel 1. So Ford's now won 4 of the last 5 duels. Again, 60 laps, 150 miles is the distance. 38 to 42 laps on a tank of fuel. And pit road speed 55 miles an hour. Fans staying at the Blue Green Vacations Daytona Seabreeze.
What was that I just saw?
From a pool float race to relaxing on the beach deck, fans got a race day experience without having to hit the track. How about Don LaJoie in that command? He was a multi-champion at the old quarter-mile Danbury Race Arena in Connecticut. His son Randy, 3-time Busch champion.
40 people in this live show right now. I did not expect this.
As we
This is
sit here in
awesome.
Daytona, the 2020 Toyota Camry TRD again leads the field. We're going green this time.
All right, Mike, we saw Ricky Stenhouse Jr. pushing. He was up front a lot. He was aggressive. What are we going to see out of Alex Bowman, who's going to start from the pole of Duel 2?
Now here we go. If you're done, Johnson, I got you. I believe in you. Come on.
Green flag in the air.
Green flag. See what happens. Looks like Johnson has teammate the 24 right behind him, a lot tighter. Never mind, not Kyle Busch's coming. Going.
Already 3 wide. Michael McDowell going to the
I
outside.
don't even know it.
Kyle Larson.
Oh, look at Harvick. Now, I tell you, Harvick is the guy to watch in this race. You got Matt
Yeah, they're gonna wreck it.
on his rear bumper, going to give him a big shove. William Byron going backwards.
And Jimmy Johnson backing up. Matt D trying to get something going with Harvick.
Yeah, Harvick, I don't know what he was doing there. He just... That was kind of the dumbest thing ever.
Already a big difference. A lot of sparks out of that 48 car of Jimmy Johnson. But we saw with that outside lane just did not line up and stay in line. And that's what broke them up. And now that inside line is pulled ahead a good bit.
Alex Bowman leads lap 1. He had a couple of taps from Kyle Busch, but Busch has not peaked out yet. From second spot, he's got Eric Jones as his wingman, filling up his mirror.
And again, just like in race 1, early laps,
just
a lot of sparks,
stay calm and
these guys, the cars are getting
I don't know what Harvick's doing. He's kind of just being a dick at this point.
Again, Kevin Harvick loving that outside lane, taking
I kind of want to punch him in the face now. Punching a lot of people in the face.
7th, DiBenedetto outside in 8th.
Kurt Busch going to have to regroup all the way at the back of this field. Teammate alongside.
Harvick is just going around people. Not too sure why, but he is.
I think one of the things I took away from race 1 is these cars must be pretty stable, Mike, because when you're that aggressive, when you're driving the way they are, not afraid to go 3 wide as often as we've seen in race 1 and now already in race 2, cars must be pretty stable.
I don't know, Jeff. 3 wide on lap 2?
I know, that's what I'm saying. Must be. And again, these are good conditions. These are cool track conditions, so car's going to have a little bit more grip.
Reddick backing up a bit in the middle. There's Timmy Hill in the 66.
Dang.
Has to race his way in. There's Corey
Timmy Hill's honestly doing pretty good.
Yeah, already both of these guys have gone by. Brendan gone. You know, you go into these duels and you hope, I hope I get the green flag and we go.
All right, I'm gonna trust you. I'm gonna hold you to what you said, Juan.
And just get acquainted with 200
if it does happen, I will be pretty happy.
That has not been the case for this race.
Well, that's the battle right there. 54 Yaley and 66 Hill.
But at the same time, I don't know. Depends on where it happens, I guess, and where Johnson is.
Yaley's got a lot of experience, so I think, you know, chalk up that experience. That might play out for Yaley. Here's Harvick going to the lead. I knew that these two were going to be able to work together well. DiBenedetto and Harvick and find their way to the front. They've gotten there in a hurry.
Yeah,
fast forwards on the inside. Look at Byron. Where did he come from? He went all the way to the back, found himself a lane. He's up there 3rd on the inside.
He's stuck with those guys. He's stuck with Matt and Harvick the whole time.
And they pulled him right along with them.
But the question is, will he stay there the whole time? And will his top side even prevail? What's going to go happen? I really want to know what's going to happen.
16th.
Bowman's fast, he's in the lead.
He's got no helpers. I mean, you got Ross Chastain, which actually, in a way, is a bit of a teammate because that is a Chip Ganassi racing car.
Chastain with our Fox visor cam.
I love this shot.
And that would be very smart.
You know, when they're 3 wide like Jimmy Johnson is, no.
I don't know how to say name. I'm not Cookie Fat. That sounds fatter. I'm gonna Cookie Fatter. Fatter. That sounds more polite. But yeah, that does sound a lot really smart. If it does happen, let's just hope they don't go single file, because if they go single file, that won't be fun. It looks like it's not gonna happen because these two are fighting up here. They're wanting to stick up there. And I do apologize for the delay on the stream, but I can't do much about that. I can't get rid of it.
Now, one other
But okay.
takeaway, again, we talked about this a lot, but from Duel 1, we saw where these Ford front bumpers are so flat, and the rear bumper's so flat, that they can push and get locked together better than anybody. Gives them a slight advantage, especially late in the going here. You see Kyle Busch trying to get that materialized, trying to make that push to the rear bumper, the 88 of Alex Bowman.
Kyle Busch was asked on media day, who's the face of NASCAR now? He says, I don't know. You're going to have to ask around. Why ask me? They said, well, who's the best driver in NASCAR right now? And Busch straightened up and said, you're looking at him.
I love it.
Wow.
And you know what? When you come off of a
Kyle Busch being
champion run like he
cocky.
did, You could say that.
I think at this point I shouldn't be biased, and I shouldn't say stuff about drivers that I don't like, so I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut.
Reforged 2 Chevys up there.
I don't know, Harvick and
Trying to get to the outside edge of the rear bumper of DiBenedetto. When you're
no,
gonna push, you
no, I
want to
don't
be
think
on
so.
that outer corner because that's going to keep the car going straight. Not try to.
The only thing I can think that will happen is if the Forge try doing what they did, or one of the guys will try doing what they did last time, and maybe being able to actually go through it with it, have a big gap. But it just sadly did not happen because Brian Blaney got wrecked. And, yeah.
He said there's no doubt about it. The dad is always more nervous. No problem for the 41 of Custer so far, Matt.
Vince 2 spots up is the 21 of Matt DiBenedetto. He told me handling even more crucial. The car is so erratic with this package in the draft. But remember, he's a stout little super speedway racer. Led 49 laps last year in the 500 before getting caught up in a crash. He's tucked up there with his another Ford teammate, Harvick.
New team for DiBenedetto. Paul Menard retiring in the offseason, vacating the Wood Brothers ride, and Matt D has stepped in. Says he's having a ball. He says they're old school, the Wood Brothers, and they're fun.
I think they're a great combination. I think they're going to have a lot of fun and a lot of success this year. But especially, I think of that team.
I think they're coming back now, honestly. It looks like they might be coming back.
Daytona 500 last year. We know the Wood Brothers' history here at Daytona is
You just be patient. That's all these races are. They're just a huge chess match. And you have to wait to be able to move your king, or I guess move your king. Queen. Move your queen. I said king 2 times, I think. I'm an idiot.
Hello. I saw you move in, and I wanted to welcome you to the neighborhood with some homemade biscuits.
Oh, that's so nice.
And a little tip. Geico could help you save on homeowners insurance.
Oh.
Cookies.
Biscuits.
Throw a little nutmeg in there?
Oh, it's my mum's secret recipe.
You can tell me.
It's a secret.
Is it cinnamon?
It's my mum's secret recipe.
Call Geico and see how easy saving on homeowners and condo insurance can be.
I'll come back for the plate.
You've been hearing a lot about 5G.
It's my mom's secret recipe, he says.
And then there's Verizon 5G. We're building the most powerful 5G experience for America.
It's more than 10 times faster than some other 5G networks.
And it's rolling out in cities across the country.
So people can experience speeds that ultra-wideband can deliver.
1.7 gigs.
No, there's only 2 Toyotas in this pack, I believe.
That's outrageous. It's like an 8-lane highway.
There were 4 Toyotas, maybe 5, in the first duel, and there's only I think 2, and they're right there, right where you're seeing them right now.
And a large pizza. Pizza then app. App then pizza. It's your world. We're just making pizza in it. Hurry and try it before it's gone. No one out pizzas the hut.
Yes, luckily, by the way.
A world-famous entertainment destination for Pennzoil 400 weekend at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Gut-wrenching danger. Insane speed. Life-changing glory. It's NASCAR's fastest weekend at America's racing showplace.
This is the biggest heavyweight fight in recent history.
Here we go again. Shots fired, I'm going in. Standing alone for the love.
This fight is a draw. Bring him all on!
Wilder Fury 2, Saturday, February 22nd on pay-per-view. Buy now on the Fox
Yeah,
Sports
they
app.
keep going back though.
The place where the season begins.
They were right behind first place, but now they keep going back.
Daytona 500. I am NASCAR.
Laps complete in Daytona. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Chase the possibilities. Unlock discovery at every turn. Goodyear. More driven. Kevin Harvick continues to lead. But one thing you hardly ever see is Kyle Busch get shuffled. He went from 2nd to 13th. Now with only 2 Toyotas in the race, part of the plan?
Well, I don't know. It's his teammate, Eric Jones. That's very surprising. I cannot imagine this is a part of the plan. I didn't see him, this hand out the window. I don't know if Eric Jones is trying to block a run coming from the one behind him of Kurt Busch. But you see something, like you said, Mike, very rare for Kyle Busch to go to the back like that and get shuffled. But that outside lane, since he has gotten shuffled, I thought they've made a little bit of ground up on our leader, Kevin Harvick.
They have. Alex Bowman is leading that outside lane back toward the front.
I don't know. How do Toyota's even working now? They don't even know if they're going to be working together.
Benedetto, then the Chevy of Byron on the inside, and the Ford of Custer. 14 laps complete, and Larry, looking back at duel number 1, what you're thinking on this pit window?
Yeah, they actually
50. Yeah, 50. And to celebrate 50 viewers, please subscribe. I'm begging you, subscribe. Instead, don't just do this. This is just me selling out. I do NASCAR Heat videos, do racing and stuff like that. You guys can watch it all live.
Alex Bowman has done it. He's brought that outside line back to the front.
And heck yeah, Alex Bowman.
You got about even amount of cars in the outside lane versus the inside lane, and so all it takes is for you to get a car like Eric Jones to your rear bumper to give you that shove. And we see here already both of these cars, Kevin Harvick and the 88 of Bowman, fast race cars.
You know, guys, the one thing that I keep seeing is around 15 laps, whether it's on new tires or used tires, that outside lane becomes the lane to be in. And I think it's just because handling comes into play, and the guys in the bottom either get tight or they're just not able to hold it wide open and keep the, on the car in front of them as close as they need to be.
Well, I think you brought up a really good point, Jamie, because I saw something that Alex Bowman did. He went down and was very aggressive on the side draft to, I believe it's De Benedetto, and you saw right then him surge forward. So I think you're right. I think if he can get down to the outside and loosen those guys up, they probably are going to have to lift the throttle a little bit.
Now the inside lane is broken up here pretty completely. That's Ross Chastain, first car on the inside, as everybody's hunted the top side. And Matt Yoakum has found out what happened that dropped Kyle Busch from 2nd to 13th.
Mike, all about agendas for this duel. It's all about building a notebook for the 500. Kyle Busch pulled out and dropped to the back to see how his car would be deeper in the draft. You can see now he's working his way to the front.
Yeah, that really would be cool to get see Manny do good.
Certainly out of the racetrack.
So it was
he did pretty good in the 95. Almost got a win. So see what he can do with this car this season.
Be out front, because that's where I plan to be all day.
Right. Larry knows that one well.
Yes, he does.
All the way to victory lane. J.J. Yaley first among the 2 race-in cars. He and Timmy Hill. One of them will make the 500, and now this group has gone single file as we approach the opening of the pit window here in a couple of laps. There's the race-in battle. Keeping close tabs on one another. Brendan Gaughan has dropped further back. He's in the race on time for Sunday, so the race in is between these two, Yaley and Hill.
Brendan Gaughan is that one guy that just wait for everyone to go by, starts talking him through.
Coming to 1/3 distance this time.
It's been another great race so far, Mike. I mean, we saw side by side for several laps, 15, 16 laps before they started getting single file like they are right now. Wonder maybe a little bit more rubber on the racetrack after race 1. So maybe that outside groove is starting to prevail because, as Jamie McMurray mentioned, handling's starting to go away a little bit for those guys on that inside lane.
Well, my concern now, Jeff, is getting cleanly out of line to pit. We saw in race 1, not everybody could do that.
And I just got to believe you have to communicate, whether you're on top of the spotter stand and you're telling the other spotters, hey, we're pitting. I just don't think it's worth it to try to trick everybody and not tell anybody you're pitting until turn 3.
Brennan Poole off the pace.
I don't know. I might not do good for the leaders.
Movers
because a lot of stuff can shuffle and go further back if they want to. All these guys can just be comfortable where they're at right now.
Of this race, and he had to get around in some of these cars. I think he's got a much faster race car, but that group got separated from our lead group. Now he's got some work to do.
Ty Dillon started 15th. He's up to 6th. And there's his new teammate for 2020, Reddick.
Yeah, and you can see the rest of the group that's drafting ahead of him is in that outside lane. So Tyler Reddick's trying to run that short line, try to make up some ground in the corners. But I really believe he's lost in the draft and is going to be in trouble here for the rest of this race.
Caution free through these 21 laps so far.
That's how it was for the first time.
Pit windows open. Now, last time the Fords stopped last, and before they stopped, they were running the fastest laps of the race in a group of 6 or 7 cars on the bottom of the racetrack while everybody else had pitted.
And we had a lot of debate about that, whether that was intentional. We think that they just kind of fell into that, which was going to really turn out to be work out really well for them. Unfortunately, they had that miscommunication incident coming onto pit road.
I agree with that.
He
He
could
could
really
possibly
come off pit
win
road,
it,
I think, with a couple
but it's
second
also
lead.
luck based. Not super luck based, skill and luck based, but there to be lucky and skill, especially these tracks.
Brings that single file train down to the line. 14 cars within 1.5 seconds.
And you just got to think, I know Jimmy Johnson's not thinking about this right now, but each one of these events that he goes through could be the last time he experiences that.
At this time, at this time.
It's Alex Bowman's radio.
Alright, looks
There
like
are
the
4
Fords,
Chevrolets
or
in the
the
top 7.
Chevrolets are going.
Bowman, Kurt Busch, Ty Dillon, and William Byron.
Still in line with you here. Pit this time.
They will want to pit together so that when they get off pit road and back up to speed, they'll be drafting.
I feel like Johnson's going to try going in too hard. He's going to wreck.
There goes the other Chevys, Larry.
Yeah, this is the exact lap the Chevrolet teams pitted in duel 1. Looks like to me they're down to the bottom, probably coming this time.
Now Chastain, Larson, and Johnson and Reddick will likely come with them. And here's Vince.
Well, they told Kurt Busch, drag a little brake as you come in to put a little heat in those brakes to make sure you get stopped in the box. Just a little bit of balance help is the only complaint for Kurt Busch. Otherwise, he likes it, Matt.
And farther up pit road, very quiet on the 88 and 48 radios as those Chevrolets are in. It's going to be only for Jimmy Johnson.
I don't know Cole Custer. I don't know that one of those guys will win. I'm not a big fan of Chevrolet cars.
Together and exit together with fuel only. So the 2 Toyotas and the 8 Fords still on track here at 24 laps.
Now, what's a little bit different here is we saw that in that duel 1, they were lined up together and making great lap time. Right there, you saw they went to the inside of the 34 of McDowell. Will they line up and try to just run this out as long as they can to get that advantage like we saw in duel 1?
So if the 2 Toyotas pit together, when they get back up to speed, do you need more than 2 cars?
Oh, they're not going to pit by themselves. They're going to try to pit with these Fords, but the disadvantage they have is they don't know if they're going to pit because they're in front of them. If they were following these guys, they could just follow them onto pit road. So if these Fords decide to peel off and pit alone, then they can leave them out. But I think it benefits the Toyotas and the Fords to all stick together because of the number of cars they have drafted and the speed they're carrying. Of course, you might want to check the chat room, see what's going on.
The group chat.
Yeah.
No emojis needed. 25 laps complete. Now, they could go all the way to
I think the favorites to win.
But there's no advantage to do so.
Yeah, there's no real advantage.
For, like, the team.
You know, the only advantage is maybe you take a little less fuel.
Will be
when you finally do come to pit road because you don't have as many laps to go, even though you've used a little more fuel.
That's just my opinion though, because I just feel like 100 cars, Kurt Johnson, this is his last season. Yeah, I think they'll be the favorites.
Brendan Gaughan goes a lap down. Now he's already made the Daytona 500 on speed.
Am I stupid, or have I not heard Chase Elliott's name in both of these?
What this means. This means starting the Daytona 500.
One of them will, one of them won't. That's what's at stake here.
Talk about give and take. There's no give and take happening right here between these two.
Well, that swing is about $250,000 whether you start this race or not, or whether you have to go home tonight.
Should I press that 45 or the
Now,
54?
BJ McLeod, the 52, is locked into the race. He's a teammate to Yaley. Rick Ware Racing. McLeod from Florida did not get to run a qualifying lap. They had problems and changed engines prior to the duel, but he's going to try to help his teammate here make the race.
Well, it looks like maybe Corey LaJoie is trying to help out Timmy Hill. That 66 is he's getting a little drafting help from.
They're all Fords though.
Corey LaJoie in the 32.
One thing I like about
just
Timmy Hill's car,
side, this could get pretty
the back of it
watch.
looks
Maybe
different.
That green flag stops what's going to make the difference.
Well, it would be throwing the biggest dummy if the two Toyotas found themselves on the racetrack with all those
Brennan just wants to run. He just wants to run this race and be.
They're done, Mike.
Be
if
done.
they come by themselves, their race is over if a caution does not come out, because they will not be able to run near as fast as those larger group, those larger drafts.
I'm waiting for a caution now.
Chevy's led by William Byron from 12th on back.
And you can see we kind of got a similar situation with Jimmy Johnson, and I believe that's Ross Chastain. They've lost the 4 ahead of them, and Bowman, Larson, Kurt Busch, and Ty Dillon.
That's what I was thinking. I think they might wreck each
And
other.
I think Byron's in that group too.
And then Brendan Gaughan
and J.J. Yaley racing side by side.
when
They're in the top
doing
10.
the thing.
Right.
George Hamilton,
I really see these guys doing a
Hearn,
very similar
Hernandez,
strategy.
George
The
Hernandez.
Toyotas and Fords
I
of
think
what
that's.
we saw in Duel 1. They're using the
I think I'm
draft,
pronouncing
using their
that.
group
But what's
to
up,
run
dude?
as long as
Welcome
they
to Logan
can,
Stream.
try to build up an advantage before they come to green, to those green flag stops. Larry?
Yeah, this would be the lap that the Ford teams were coming in the first duel. But I'm almost thinking, bait those Toyotas. Make them come to pit road and then run another lap unless they just keep running here. But this is the lap the Ford teams came the first duel.
Not this lap, Larry, because they're on the outside with slower traffic
to the
inside.
Trying to block that run. He does a good job on Eric Jones. Now he's got to move up to block the 18 of Kyle Busch. But we saw this can be dangerous. You got to be real careful with that big run coming if you block it too much. Now Jimmy, I think, did an excellent job. Kind of stalled out the 20 of Eric Jones, picked up the 18 perfectly.
And that is to benefit of Jones because he is no longer in front of those Fords. So now it's assured that the 20 can pit when the Fords do. They will have to come in the next 7 or 8 laps.
I really think as long as they're catching this group ahead of them and they're making up time, it's only going to benefit them on the backside. Jamie, what do you think? You picked up on that in that first race.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching them, Jeff, and they're running a half, 3/4 of a second faster than the Chevys that pitted earlier on. And now, they've had the benefit of the draft of some of those guys that lost that lead draft. So this, if there's no caution, this is a home run for Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Matt DiBenedetto, those guys that stayed out. If we don't get a caution, I think they're going to be 4, 5, 6 seconds ahead of those guys that pitted earlier.
How is Kyle Busch going to know when the Fords are pitting and how much time will he have to react?
Yeah, I mean, there's no way unless they tell Kyle Busch that they're pitting. Now he can look in his mirror. I mean, hey, he's a 2-time champion. He might be able to pull something off like that. But I really think unless they tell him and include him in their plan, or maybe
You want to
listen
die?
on the
You
radio,
will. I'm about to kill a cat.
maybe he knows what lap that they're going to come in. Sounds like they're coming. Now they've got to be careful of that same situation.
I'm back.
Got some cars mixed
Cat's
in there
been
that
done.
got pitted. I'd have my hand out the window right now.
Yep.
Then you can see Reddick knows they're coming. So does Chastain.
So they go to the high side. And here they all come.
Yeah, that sucks for Johnson, though.
Led by Kyle Busch. 2 Toyotas and a bunch of Fords, Vince.
Well, Well, 22-year-old Cole Custer in that red 41. He's got 3 cup starts to his credit, but he's in the duel for the first time. And the car got really tight toward the end of that run, so they're going to make an adjustment on it to try to give him a little bit more of a handling car.
Look for the strategy up and down pit road. Cars going with right side tires. The 18 of Kyle Busch is losing overall grip, as was his teammate Eric Jones in the 20, and they're away.
I thought that would split up that group more than it did.
They took tires, though.
Jones got right side tires.
And they had to sit on pit road a little bit longer to take more fuel, so that allowed them to take those right side tires and not really lose anything.
Michael McDowell stops. Now Corey LaJoie, J.J. Yaley making their stops. And we cycle back to Kevin Harvick. Here's William Byron leading Ty Dillon,
So look at this
Busch,
big
and
lead.
Larson.
Look at this big lead that they have. Now they've got to get organized. They've got to get together because these guys are all stacked on top of one another, carrying a great amount of speed into turn 3. If these other Fords and Toyotas ahead of them can get organized, again, that advantage goes to those drivers and teams.
Timmy Hill and J.J. Yaley pitted at the same time and exit together. That battle will continue for the next 26 laps.
I think that was really well executed. And I got to give Cole Custer a lot of credit because, you know, he's a rookie. That was one of the first times he had to make a green flag stop. A lot of pressure on him. They all came to pit road, I thought, really, really well.
Oh, we got 60. Oh, and I say that, and my stream does this. And it signs out again. Stop it. Stop it. Stop signing out. I swear to God. I will absolutely roundhouse kick you in the face. No. Bad. It's bad. Jesus.
Tampa Bay, Seattle, Saturday at 5 Eastern on Fox. Download the Fox Sports Super 6 app today and lock in your free XFL picks for a chance to win cash prizes.
PNC Bank has technology to help make banking easier. Like PNC Easy Lock, so you can easily lock your credit card when its maximum limit differs from its vertical limit. And Cloverflex,
yeah,
for when you need to take
I feel like
cards,
something's gonna happen. There's gonna be a caution. I feel it.
Requesting a call to help get a new credit card.
It's gonna be
one that hasn't followed the family goldfish. PNC, make today the day.
It's gonna be followed by a big wreck. I can smell it.
Science project.
Thanks, Dad.
Toyota, let's go places.
Thanks, Father.
I am first. The place where it all started. I am dreams coming true and nightmares too. The place where the season begins. I am 101,000 hearts skipping a beat. I am wide open, faster than fast, predictably unpredictable. I am the wind that beats all other winds. I am what you've been waiting for, and I am about to go off.
Yeah, true. Very, very true. Seems like this is only one way to find out. I guess while commercials going on, you guys please subscribe to my channel. I don't just do this. I don't just stream NASCAR races. I will do that more, but I also play NASCAR Heat 4 and do league races live. So yeah, subscribe if you guys want to, and also like the video or like the live stream. And we're direct to it. Here we go. I thought you guys are watching the video.
A huge day of hoops comes your way Saturday on Fox. First, Big Ten action as Purdue battles Ohio State at 11:30 Eastern, followed by a Big East clash between Georgetown and 19th ranked Butler. Both these games also available on the Fox Sports app. So in the race-in department, note Brendan Gaughan in 15th. He will get the race-in spot if nothing changes. And J.J. Yaley and Timmy Hill continue to battle but Hill had the faster qualifying time, so
Brendan Gaughan
stays in 15th place. Timmy Hill would make the race on qualifying speed.
Yeah, those guys are going to need something to happen, because I just don't see them being able to catch Brendan Gaughan and shuffle him back.
Thank you, Juan, for subscribing. I'm just trying to get everyone everyone new to the stream to subscribe, and hopefully they do.
I go back, I believe it's last year, Kevin Harvick and his
I need to say it every commercial.
I don't think they came on pit road leading, just like they did here. They came in second behind the 18, or at least behind the 18, but they did a flawless job on pit road, changing 2 tires and putting fuel in and exiting pit road first to get the lead.
You know, guys, I went back a couple of nights ago and I watched the dual races from a year ago. Kevin Harvick in the 4 won dual 1. Why did he win dual 1? He spent the least amount of time on pit road during his pit stop. When I look at the pit stops that were just made for 2 tires, guess who the fastest team was for 2 tires? Kevin Harvick's number 4 pit crew.
Are we any faster than that Chevy pack? Yeah, we're good right now. Say they're all going to stay in line. The guys in our group behind us till the end. So let's keep digging, making time.
That's Tim Fedewa up on the roof, former Xfinity Series driver, and a good one, talking with other spotters, and they've got a plan up front. So it appears to be no accident that those Toyotas pitted with the fast group of Fords.
Well, if you want this strategy to work out, you need some friends to go with you. There's a nice group of Fords that were fast, but they needed a few others to adopt this strategy. And that's why I think this is working out for them, because of those 2 other Toyotas.
So right now, the
yeah, no problem with the stream. I had nothing else to do, so I decided I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Oh! I called it. We called it, guys. It was JJ Yaley and Timmy Hill, I think. No, it was just JJ Yaley. Timmy Hill was up there, but feels bad.
Champion out there in the high lane got turned into the wall.
I don't know, they ran down, I really wasn't watching, and I looked over and they ran down this other path. I think we're going to no debris.
Caution.
Not exactly sure what happened. He's still rolling.
Corey LaJoie on pit road.
And you saw William Byron was
Corey
his
LaJoie's
way through some of those cars that they had caught. Here's a replay.
Timmy Hill got lucky.
Looks like the 54 of Yaley just gets clipped in the right rear quarter from the 32 of LaJoie. Remember, the 32 and the 66 were working together to try to draft to get ahead of these guys.
Not sure how much contact there was there, or did we? Well, we'll see here. There it is.
I just don't know if the spotter or Yaley knew what a run that Corey LaJoie had coming in that outside.
Yeah, Yaley turned himself.
So yeah, you saw William Byron jump up there. I don't know if Yaley really reacted to that as
the whole
much
time.
as that outside lane had.
Now Corey LaJoie's going up. Better wrecked himself. Good job, dude. This is why JJ Yaley is not in good
the first
equipment.
Caution of the event takes out one of the hopefuls trying to race his way into the 500. In this case, former USAC champ JJ Yaley.
It's kind of sad to see, but whatever.
18 laps to go.
Oh, William Byron coming to pit road. Oh, I was going to say, I think they thought the pits were open. But now we know what he's going to do. So that tells me some of these guys a little bit further back might come in and get 4 tires so that they can be really aggressive when this goes back to green.
He won't go to pits now.
I think when I look at the front, we're going to go back racing probably with about 13, 14 laps to go. If you're up there in the top 6, 5 or 6, yeah, you're going to stay out. But if you're back there like Alex Bowman, Jimmy Johnson, Tyler Reddick, come get you 4 fresh tires. Make that thing drive better.
Here's William Byron's radio.
Not open, don't pit. If it's stay up. There you go. Good job. Yeah. Good for it. Thank God for live TV there.
Always here to help you out there checking out.
Pits remain closed as officials look for debris coming up out of turn number 4, where J.J. Yaley got up and into the wall.
Oh no, there is a no sponsored car. You can get in. 27, I believe. It's a light blue car. It's no sponsor. He's getting in because he got in first stage or the first race.
They've all envisioned hoisting this trophy. Whose lifelong dream will become a reality? It's the Great American Race. Coverage begins 11 a.m. Eastern.
You know, we talk all year about how long the season is, and then we talk all winter about how long the off season is, and now we're ready.
It is so exciting to be back in Daytona and kicking off Speed Weeks here. We had a wild one in the Busch Clash on Sunday, and we've had some great racing here in the duels. So even more excited about Sunday's race for the Daytona 500 now.
Pit road is open, and it's going to be busy. Ty Dillon leads William Byron and the rest. Vince.
Well, it's interesting, as you guys noted, William Byron almost coming on pit road too soon. William said he wasn't paying attention to the pit lights telecast saved him. He's a little too tight right now in the 24, man.
Let's see what happens.
Plan for the 88 of Alex Bowman, the plan all along. Come get 4 tires. The 48 of Jimmy Johnson was relaying to his team that the car a little edgy later in that run, especially up against the wall, but Bowman wanted to come get fresh tires for better handling for the run to the finish.
Now Kyle Larson only got 2 tires. You see him scooting out of the picture. He was first off pit road by a wide margin, followed by Byron and Bowman.
Well, and I think Larson just felt like he needed some track position. Maybe he feels his car's driving plenty good enough. The guys he's going to be racing against ahead of him anyway, they took 2 right side tires.
So by my count, Larson will line up 6th for the restart. 5 cars stayed out. Let's have a look at tonight's Blue Green Vacations race summary. Joey Logano, again, the winner of Duel 1. Justin Haley races his way in, and Reed Sorensen on his qualifying time from the weekend will be in the Daytona 500.
Yeah, the 27.
Here in race 2, Kevin Harvick trying to repeat his dual win of 1 year ago.
It'd be a real repeat because I think Joey Logano and Kevin Harvick won the duels last year.
Correct.
But we still have what, 15 laps to go when we go back to green.
So Harvick the leader in Ford. Kyle Busch's Toyota. There's the race 1 winner, Joey Logano's car. Matt DiBenedetto's Ford, David Reagan's Ford. How about Reagan? Retired at the end of last season, the Georgia driver did. But he is here, racing in the 500 on a one-off. He says he has a busy year ahead. He's going to be Ford's test driver for the new generation NASCAR car all year long. And he says he's going to keep a clean suit and a helmet ready on the shelf in case a call comes. But here he is.
You really call that retired? I don't think that's retired. but they picked a great guy. I mean, I think he has great experience to be able to help Ford with that and NASCAR with that program.
Now, for those of you looking for Arizona at Cal, college hoops can currently be seen on FS2.
Here we go, guys.
We'll have all the action here on FS1 after the race, which
Next
has
time,
just
but
15
Cat,
laps
stop
to go.
it. Stop it.
Well, that's certainly the last thing I think Kevin Harvick wanted to see. Again, executed that green flag stop perfectly, just like they did last year. But now, stack them back up, got to go back racing, and we've seen what kind of racing happens when these cars are side by side after a restart.
They brought the record to pit road to pick up BJ McLeod, or rather, the 54 car of J.J. Yaley, and that's why we're going to add a lap here before we go back to green. Well, who do you like? Kevin Harvick trying to win it for the 2nd year in a row, or our series champion, Kyle Busch?
Well, there's something that we saw materialize at the start of this race that got Kevin Harvick to the front, and he's right behind him, and that's Matt DiBenedetto. So I like Kevin Harvick's chances. When these 2 guys hook up, I think they have a great shot at just shoving right ahead of the rest of the field.
Wood brothers always seem to bring a fast car for Daytona and Talladega. It seems to be their specialty. Jamie, Larry, who you like?
Yeah, I totally agree with what Jeff's saying. I saw Matt right behind Kevin, and I think those two are going to be the two that are going to battle for the win here. Look, we only have 15 laps left, and it's taken about 15 laps for those lanes to transition to the top. So I think we're going to see two-wide racing, similar to what we saw in that first duel. But I'm really liking that inside lane with Harvick and DiBenedetto.
I don't know how in the world you would bet against Kevin Harvick in that 4 car. I think he's got their number right now, and he's got that track position. And again, tip of the hat to his pit crew. They had the fastest 2-tire stop when they came to pit road.
Well, boys, I don't know if I'd bet on Kyle Busch, but what I learned last year is don't ever bet against him.
Yeah, that's for sure. Can't count him out. And, you know, he's hungry. He finished second this Daytona 500 last year. He's checking off boxes. And one of those boxes that he has yet to check off is that Daytona 500. Now, does that mean he has to win this duel? No. But I just think it's a statement that he wants to make and get the absolute best starting position on Sunday in the 500 to go try to get that first victory.
Well, Harvick is trying to equal history along with Joey Logano, because only once in the history of the Daytona International Speedway have 2 drivers won their dual races 2 years in a row, the same pair of drivers, and they're both Hall of Famers. Joe Weatherly and Daytona Beach's own Fireball Roberts, back when these races were 100 miles, 1961 and 62. They won the then called the Twins, now the Duels. They won them back-to-back years.
Well, that'd be some pretty good company to be in.
Yes, it would be.
And we might just have 2 future Hall of Famers there in those 2, and Kevin Harvick and Joey Logano.
So we have 5 drivers on worn tires at the front of the field. Kyle Larson with 2 tires restarting 6th, and the rest of this field restarting with fresh tires.
I really think if you're Kevin Harvick or if you're Kyle Busch, clean air is your friend, and you're going to be fine on those tires. As you get further and further back, tires are going to become an issue. You know, if you're Eric Jones, let's say, I think that's where I wouldn't really want to be on some older tires.
Since the last checkered flag waved in Homestead in November, Kyle Larson has run 20 races. He's won half of them.
Here we go, green flag, guys. See
Australia everywhere.
what happens.
Chili Bowl, here we go. 13 laps to
Green
go.
flag in here.
According to plan for Kevin Harvick on that start with a nice push from DiBenedetto, but that outside lane I felt like formed a little bit earlier than the inside lane, so
Kevin Harvick's already blocking.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to do it. Here comes a big run by Kyle Busch.
So if you can't hold him on the top, beat him on the bottom.
Well, go to the shortest route.
Right.
We're looking for a wreck here. Looking for a wreck.
12 laps to go, Vince.
Oh, man.
You guys noted the 36 of David Reagan officially retired at the end of last season from full competition, but always seems to run well here at Daytona. And there he is finding himself in that top group, but they are right on the number fuel mileage wise. So keep an eye on that 36. They think they've got enough to get to the finish, but they're not quite sure.
Well, right now, Kyle Busch is wanting that 36 of David Reagan to close up that gap, and here it comes. But that inside lane right now is maybe it formed up a little bit better, except for that big push by the Ford.
Reagan got there, and he's going to push Kyle right up even with Kevin Harvick for the lead.
Man, they are fighting.
Well, Kyle can get there, but he just can't maintain it. And that's sort of what happens when you get that big push. You get a big surge, but then you lose your drafting help, and it pulls you right back. You see Jimmy Johnson trying to slow down that outside lane. Oh, Tyler Reddick making a pretty aggressive move to the outside to go 3 wide around Cole Custer.
That's not going to pay off.
Oh, that didn't work.
Not
Nobody
at
went
all.
with him.
Hard for rookies to find help, I would guess.
Especially when the guy you're trying to pass is another rookie.
Harvick was asked in the media center today, where do you want to be here on the last lap? He said, always out front. Always in a position to try and control your own destiny.
Yeah, I mean, you saw right there, he kind of tried to control
10
both
laps
lanes,
to
but
go.
he knew the run
Who's
was
gonna
coming.
get it?
Up top by Kyle Busch. I would rather, I agree, you want to be up front because if those guys start racing behind them, as we see Kyle Busch move to that inside lane, they start racing one another, and usually the run doesn't materialize like it used to, like you think it would.
9 laps to go. And the outside line is gone.
And here Ross Chastain having to actually get out of the throttle a good bit as they go into turn 1. We haven't talked a lot about this. Is a big rear spoiler in the back of this car with a lot of horsepower punching a big hole, so you get a huge draft. That's why Chastain is getting out of the throttle. Kyle Busch not content. He's going to go to the outside Ty Dillon with some help from Ross Chastain. And here comes Kyle Larson to help. Pretty nice move by Kyle Busch. Another big run coming.
Working on Jimmy Johnson.
Now he doesn't have any help this time, so he's got to have somebody go with him. Ty
Don't
Dillon's
work on
probably
Jimmy
going to
Johnson.
tuck in with Jimmy Johnson, and he does. And here comes Tyler Reddick to the rear bumper. So some
Yeah,
Chevrolets
20,
lining up.
23. It's kind of weird that Johnson has been running not as long as Harvick, but he's retiring before Harvick. Yeah, kind of weird to think.
I mean, he could have maybe jumped up there to try to help, but he knew he was going to be taking a big risk. He's pretty content with where he's at right now in third. This thing comes down to the last couple laps. Maybe he has a shot at actually winning this duel right there. Helping out Kyle Busch was probably just going to do him more harm than good.
Back to single file. Back through the
No,
top 10,
not back to single
which is Michael
file.
McDowell, then Kyle Busch on the outside, 11.
Wow.
7 to go. Kyle Larson with those 2 tires restarted 6th. He's currently 10th.
Yeah, I think right there, it definitely would see Kyle Busch going to the inside of Michael McDowell. I think if Kyle would have just been a little bit more patient right there and waited maybe another lap or two and had those cars stacked up behind him, he probably would have had somebody go with him because Larson and Reddick, these guys want to go. They don't want to just stay in that inside lane. I just think that they want to make sure they clear somebody when they do it.
All right, so let's play this
Aggressive.
game of telephone or group chat or whatever you want to call it.
Let's move by Ross.
Together to pull out, to pass, and win.
Well, at this point, unless you knew you were going to have 3, 4, 5 cars that were willing to take that risk, you have to stay in line until the last, maybe lap and a half, something like that. People will step out to try to win this race. There's points on the line, there's a big trophy on the line, and a lot of pride to walk through the garage area with to get this win. But I can tell you right now, I don't think De Benedetto is going to take the risk. I think he stays with the 4 of Kevin Harvick.
Jimmy Hill has moved up into the race-in spot in
Is he?
16th. Brendan Gaughan
Huh.
would make the field on
I
time.
didn't look
where they're
into
running
that.
right now.
And 5 laps to go is sponsored by. Subscribe to my channel. I swear to God, I will murder
Where
you.
will they start? And that'll be based on the finish 5 laps from now.
We see David Reagan getting shuffled out. I don't know if that's him feeling like he's low on fuel and having to conserve. There goes Kyle Larson to the outside. He's got some help from Chastain, but again, I think this is just too early to make that outside move work.
Oh yeah, because Curtin Newman raced with Phil Earnhardt.
Ford and the Toyota. But what about those 6 Chevrolets lined up right behind them? Are they going to be content just to sit back there? My feeling would probably be necessarily not.
No, absolutely not, Larry. But it's just what lap do you start to try to make that move? I think right now with 4 laps to go, it's just still a little bit too early.
But look at the bow ties on our scoring pylon. If there's one group that's going to go as a group, You'd think it would be the Chevrolets if they can get that all together.
You'll be surprised, especially with this drafting package, how quick those runs can materialize and how quick you can pull back that inside lane. So just keep an eye on William Byron and the one of Kurt Busch, the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. If they get a run, they go to the outside, I think they can make something happen. I just don't know what lap it's going to happen on.
I'm with Jeff. The runs are generated so quick. The key is you want to be the first guy to pull out when you know everyone's going to go with you. You don't want to be the guy that pulls out and no one to go with you. So William Byron.
William Byron to the outside. He's got help. Back to Benedetto up to block.
And this is now you're just.
Here we go. This is that be right.
You got no momentum. Here comes a big push. Jimmy Johnson, the one of Kurt Busch. Watch this run that the 24 Byron's going to get down the back straightaway.
Harvick came up to side draft. Can't do anything about it. Here come the Chevys.
Wow. That was a little earlier than I thought they were going to go, but so far so good. It's worked out. Now what are they going to do for 2 more laps?
Harvick needs Benedetto.
Oh man. This is getting good.
This is where it gets tricky. If you're
Hell
William
yeah.
Byron, you want to win this duel. Do you go down and try to block that inside lane of Kevin Harvick if it starts to materialize? There goes Jimmy Johnson to the bottom. Yeah, I think William's got to get right down in front of the 48 of Jimmy Johnson.
2 to go.
Come on, Johnson.
Terrific move by Byron and that whole Chevy group to go with him.
Well, and I got to believe he knew somebody was going to go with
Come
him.
on,
So
Johnson.
he's in great position.
Don't get. Oh, he got that down.
Look at him bounce around as Jimmy Johnson
No.
gives William Byron a push.
I mean, I think right now William can get that far out because it's his teammate Jimmy Johnson. If that was anybody else other than Jimmy Johnson, I think that's too big of a gap. 1 to go.
Oh.
1 lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank. Byron to the top and Johnson with him.
Now here comes a run by Kevin Harvick. He's going to get to the inside of Byron here. Byron's
Why did he go to the top?
Benedetto push.
Yeah, to Benedetto, this is going to be a game changer right here. If they don't get a big run on the outside, I think Kevin Harvick's going to get back to the lead. Oh, he lost his help there with Benedetto. Oh, contact.
Kurt Busch is going for it. 3 wide into the corner.
Kurt Busch, you penis. And
Busch in the middle.
nah, William Byron has
Look
it.
at that 24 getting the victory here.
And William Byron
Johnson's gonna get second. Come on. Get second. Get second. Get second. Get second. Yeah. Yeah. Holy crap, that was a good end. Oh.
I have no idea. What a race.
Nice work, man. Awesome job, guys. First one of the year, baby.
Dude, that was so good.
That was beautiful, man.
And Timmy Hill gets in.
Kurt Busch had a big run, and that kind of broke up the battle
I
as
think.
Jimmy Johnson and William Byron
I think Timmy Hill gets in.
their way to victory.
Dude, that's awesome.
Now, this gets pretty dicey. You see the one of
Kurt Busch goes down. He even gives a rub to Johnson.
Side by side, he just takes advantage of that air that's being blocked. Boy, that was so close to
God, he
making
gets in.
contact. They did make contact between him and Jimmy Johnson. Pushed the 4 of Kevin Harvick below the yellow line.
Which would be a
That was
Harvick
good.
if he drove
I'm glad I
below the yellow
broadcasted
line,
this. Holy
not
crap.
If he's pushed below the yellow line, as you'll see here.
Well, and it's about advancing your position, but yeah, he definitely got slammed below the yellow line. I tell you what, those guys that were in Duel 1 that didn't get, that were watching this race, I think they learned a lot about what you can do. Yeah, there's definitely contact right there, but what you can do. Oh, more contact between Jimmy Johnson and Kurt Busch. But I think they taught these guys something for the Daytona 500. You can come from 4th, 5th on back if you've got enough cars behind you to go with you.
That was good. So I think this is gonna end the stream. Hope you guys did like it. Subscribe, leave a like, whatever. Put a notification bell on so whenever I do stream NASCAR Heat or whatever, you guys can be there.
Makes the 500 field on his qualifying time. Well, that was exciting.
Yes.
So yeah, I will see you guys
is headed for victory lane in duel 2.
You guys Sunday? Oh yeah, I'll see you guys Sunday for 2 streams tomorrow on Sunday. I have DVD Racing League and I have the Daytona 500. So yeah.
My mouth is watering. I think that's just your rabies
flowing
up. Geico sequels.
All right. Streamlabs. All right, guys. I will see you guys in the next stream.